lost, there's always a hope. Rise and fight.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BSL16. I'm Machine, and joining me today, once again, is the Protoss Phenom from New Jersey, Razz. What's up, Razz? How's it going, man?
I'm good, Machine. How are you doing today?
Doing well, man. Excited once again for some more epic BroodWar matches. Today we have Group G, and yeah, we got some phenomenal players. Couple Zergs, couple Protosses. So yeah, man, it's going to be an exciting one today. Or three Zergs, one Protoss. Never mind.
Yeah, a lot of ZVZ could be going down today, but
yeah,
that's okay. It'll be interesting to see what our players do today in these Zerg vs. Zerg matches with our map pool. So definitely excited to see some of these guys mix it up today.
Yeah, man, for sure. We got a couple more Chinese wrecking balls here in Fengzi as well as Zin. We also have the Peruvian Zerg Zetty and the Polish Zerg Hejek. So yeah, man, it should be an exciting one.
Yeah, we'll see what our players can do against the Chinese competitors. I mean, every game that we've seen from all the Chinese players has been top-notch. They've been very, very good. So they've definitely been the titans in this this BSL so far. So we'll see who can take them down today.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, definitely some of the heavy favorites. You know, last week we were seeing the likes of, you know, Zhao Shuai. You know, upcoming we have even like John Hoon still in the mix that we haven't got to really see this season of BSL yet. So, you know, big names honestly been coming out from China, and China's just really been showing up this season as well as the previous seasons of BSL. But yeah, man, this is our Group F. Oh, excuse me, I think I said G, but it's Group F today. Oh, never mind. It is Group G. I don't know. Yeah, that was a test to everyone in chat, and you know what? Y'all passed. So
thank goodness they were paying attention. Definitely caught some people sleeping, Machine. Don't worry, caught them sleeping.
Yeah, man. But as you see, we have two best of threes to kind of get things kicked off here. Fengzi going up against Zetty here in our first match. Obviously, will be a Zerg vs. Zerg. Fengzi, the Chinese Zerg, and Zetty from Peru. Pretty well-known Peruvian Zerg, streams quite a bit. Honestly, definitely a name to watch out for. But Fengzi, man, I gotta say, you don't really want to get into a ZVZ with Fengzi. He's a very hyper-aggressive Zerg. A Zerg that really likes to lean on 9-pool openers. At least he did in the last you know, previous season of BSL, and he's very good with it, right? Like, he has extremely good Zergling control, extremely good Muta control. Definitely not a player that's afraid to try to just end the game once he recognizes that he's got a, you know, an advantage. He's just got that killer instinct, you know?
Yeah, and I think one thing we see from these Chinese players, a lot of them do follow that Zerg style meta from Korea, and I think in ZVZ, I know you and I talk about when we watch some of the games, but if you make even an extra drone, you could just die. And to someone who's hyper aggressive like Fangsy, if he notices, oh hey, you added a drone or two, he will not have a problem pulling the trigger to just try to end the game right there, saying don't greed at all versus me. So it'll be interesting to see what Zetty has in store, because like you said, I think a lot of the 9-pool lair style play has been happening from our Chinese players, so we'll see what happens today.
Yeah, man. Map number 1, obviously going to be that butter pick. 2-player map, pretty simple, straightforward. You know, both these competitors have played quite a bit on this map, and yeah, it looks like our players are jumping into the game here, so we are ready to go. Let's jump into match number 1, Fengzi going up against Zetty. And spawning top right to kick things off here, we got our red Zerg from Peru. It is Zetty.
And in the bottom right, our blue Zerg from China, it is Fengzi. Okay, so machine butter ZBZ. You're obviously able to scout your opponent quickly. Well, not super quickly, but you know where their base is.
Yep.
Does that play into some of the mindset here of 9-pool versus a 12 hatch X-bow?
You know,
you know your opponent is.
I think it's this map more than any other. The more I've kind of like been watching it and reading it, you can get a lot of advantage by just knowing how your opponent plays. For instance, I've been watching ZeTy play on this map, ZVZ, quite a bit, and normally ZeTy would stray away from doing things like hatch first, but because the rush distance is so damn far from base to base, you can really get away with the hatch first on this map. Obviously, we've already seen the openers from our 2 players here. It's going to be an overpool from Zetty and a 9-pool from Fengzi here. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the overpool ZVZ. You don't really see it a lot in higher level play, but you know, he'll have a slight mineral advantage here. But Fengzi definitely with that faster pool, that faster gas, you know, obviously allows for a faster lair, which is very, very key in this matchup.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a couple of our South American Zergs go for the overpool this tournament so far. So I wonder if something that they've been experimenting with, seeing what they can get an advantage. But Lings are going to be right on the way here. We'll see if we're going to have speed, and we're just going to have a lair from both players. So lair, 9-pool lair from Fengzi here.
Yeah, 9-pool lair, just the overall like safe standard opener here. You know, there's not a huge deviation in either of their builds. Like I said, I think Fengzi going to have the faster lair is probably the most key difference here. Whoa, only 4? Okay, yeah, 6 Lings here out of Zetty. So maybe a slight mineral advantage for Zetty here, but, you know, it's really difficult to use that to your advantage this early on.
Yeah, we saw that the gas went down for Fengzi and Zetty, so both are getting speed now. Zetty's setting up a really good straight line there, so those Zerglings are going to be able to hit 2 for 1 if those other Zerglings come in. And I think we're just going to see Fengzi back up here, right? He's like, all right, we're pretty much, I can see your lair timing. I know what's going on. I'm just going to take that faster Spire and move on.
Yeah, he doesn't want to maybe risk, because he did go lair before speed, that Zetty went speed first and catches his Zerglings out on the map. It's pretty common to back up during this timing, ZVZ. But yeah, both players actually throwing that Spire down pretty quick. Odd Spire placement from Zetty there, I gotta say. It's normally you want to protect that thing, but it's a little forward there, but I guess maybe he just feels very confident with where he's at in this game.
Yeah, the one thing I do notice here, Machine, is that there's a decent gas advantage here for Fengzi with the 9-pool. Almost about 100 gas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, right? It's definitely that gas opener with a 9-pool versus an overpool. You know, it is a slight advantage, and I mean, in ZVZ, right, once you get to mid game, it's really just about mute account. So I mean, that is a slight advantage, but it's still a pretty big deal here. We're also seeing Fengzi open up with a much faster natural, which is the correct move here. Zetty is going to get to a point where I think he's maybe stacking too many. Oh, okay, it looks like he's going for a timing, so this could be good. And we see there's no speed yet for Fengzi. It's going to force a cancel and a Spore in the main. You know what? I actually like this for Zetty here. I think maybe Fengzi getting caught being a little too greedy. And yeah, Zetty might make him pay for it here.
Yeah, so we see him just making that same arc. Gonna probably trade as effectively as possible right here. Lings are engaging.
Yeah, Lings are engaging. Still good movement, good trade there for Fengzi, but still we got 5 and a couple more Lings in the main now. Good drone pulling though, I gotta say. Fengzi doing a good job, but still, a couple drones did fall.
2 drones down.
Yeah, that's a big deal in this matchup. One thing
And
is,
we see the
yeah.
expansion immediately putting down for Zetty.
Yeah, Zetty in a pretty good spot as long as he's able to fend off these Muta. Yeah, you can't let your Muta get caught out here. He knows Fengzi has 3 Muta, and you don't ever want to fight when you're outnumbered. But
yeah, if he gets caught on the map, it could be GG very quickly if you get those first couple Muta caught. So got to make sure that he's monitoring. I know they're trying to snipe Overlords, but you cannot be caught in the middle with the last, like you said there, Machine. That could just be game ending.
Yeah, it really could. Zetty with a pretty quick natural, actually already even getting the Vespene Geyser at the natural there, showing that he's in a pretty comfortable position. Okay, I think this is a timing though from Fengzi. Usually when you see those 2 Scourge pop like that, that's somewhat of a gas timing. We're seeing that Fengzi has completely spent all of his Vespene gas, so I think he wants to go for a kill here. Good connect, but actually it's Zetty with the connect on a Muta with that Scourge here. It's pretty even between these two. Oh no, another connect, and actually, never mind, Fengzi gonna come out on top there. He might be able to just close this out immediately, and yeah, we're seeing him dive onto that mineral line here. First drone falling, second drone falling. Oh, yeah, he's even gonna split off that Scourge to try to make one more connect on that Muta. And yeah, he does get another connect. Yeah, it's really tough to come back from here. And Fengzi wisely just backing up.
Lost all but about 4 or 5 drones here. Machine definitely a dire position. But he does have the extra larva for right now, so maybe he can catch up a little bit. I just know it's hard to make some drones when you need Muta and Scourge at the same time. So we see that aggression paying off for Fengzi. Oh, and he's going to get another couple snipes at the natural.
Zetty trying to flank and catch this group of Muta. Fengzi does out. There has more units though, so it's really going to come down to control here from Zetty. He's going to need some perfect Scourge connects, and Fengzi is at least forced to back up for now. But you know, I don't know, man. It's just so difficult from this position.
Yeah, we see now any trading here for Fengzi is good, right? As long as he doesn't just throw away the Muta, but as long as he trades and he knows he has a stronger economy. And we see we're down to the last 2 Muta, 2 Muta versus 2 Muta.
Yeah, pretty good little trade there still. Given everything, Zetty, you know, made the most of the situation and barely comes out with the win there. But yeah, look at the drone count. I feel like there was even some kind of a counter or something during that, because we're seeing the 8 supply here for Zetty to the 19-20 of Fengzi. Fengzi just moving in with solo Scourge, right? Whenever the eco is this low, it's so difficult for Zerg to micro versus these Scourge and low Muta numbers.
So the first connect, second connect, Muta down. Now I think Fengzi will just start to sending 2 Lings in here to get some damage done, and there's a GG from Zetty.
Yeah, smart decision there, and very nicely played from Fengzi. Pretty solid game number 1 out of him. I gotta say though, Zetty had a pretty dominant position from the start, right? He forced the cancel on the natural, killed a couple drones, like things were looking good, but you know, just wasn't quite. Maybe he got a little too greedy with taking the gas at the natural so quickly, right? If he just kind of held for a second, got the Muta numbers he needed to feel safe, he didn't really even need to take the gas at the natural that quickly. But you know what? Live and learn. He can adjust for game number 2 here.
Yeah, I also think he made so many Lings. I think Fengzi kind of noticed, hey, like your link count's really high, you're using your larva. So I think that pushed him towards probably that Muta Scourge time. He's saying I'm probably going to have an extra Muta or something that's going to able to sway me a little bit, and then that's why he went immediately. But like you said, if Zetty holds there, he would have been in a dominant position. So unfortunate for him that he couldn't find the victory in game number 1, but will we go to game number 2? What map do you think Zetty will want here? Playing against an aggressive Zerg like Fengzi, does that weigh into the decision making for him?
You know, aggressive Zerg like Zetty, I think you want to have vision, right? You want it to be like a smaller map. You want to kind of get a better idea of what is to come. So I, wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, man. Actually, it's not going to be Vermeer. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely not Vermeer. Maybe like Odyssey or something like that.
Yeah. You know what? That was the word I was looking for. That map, Odyssey. Yeah. We haven't seen a ton on Odyssey, but actually it is going to be Sylphin. So 3-player map, it works, right? You can usually get your second Overlord out in time to scout things like 9 pools coming out and stuff. So not a bad map choice here going into game number 2 for Zetty. But yeah, should be good.
Yeah, probably well practiced, played a lot of it, so he feels very comfortable picking this map. So probably not a bad choice, keeping it standard there.
Yep. Everybody's played this map a billion times. There's no ramp leading into the main is the one thing I gotta say about this map for ZVZ, which makes the dynamic a little different than most maps. It's maybe slightly more difficult to hold your main than it would be on another map. But yeah, it sounds like we are ready to jump into the match here, folks. It's going to be Fengzi going up against Zetty on Sylphid, game 2. Let's check it out. And spawning at the 12 o'clock on Sylphid as the red Zerg from Peru, it is Zetty.
And bottom right, the blue Zerg from China, it is Fengzi. All right.
So this map, the one thing I've realized is things like a 12-pool expo is a little more common and a little stronger here than it is on most maps.
Okay.
The reasons being, obviously with a 12-pool expo, you get an expansion. Ling pressure is very strong on this map because you have shorter distances from natural to natural. And as I mentioned earlier, it is more difficult to hold your main due to having no ramp leading from natural to main. So, things like if you can just get the expansion secured and then Ling flood and go spores, it can be quite strong on this map.
Yeah, and now a 12 pool, pretty much a natural counter to a 9 pool, correct? So it kind of needs for you to be able to get that eco lead and be able to push your advantage as you go. So that makes sense that they want to do it. Fengzi going to get the first scout here, setting his Overlord towards the top center, where Zetty will be in the dark for a little bit longer. Definitely an advantage here. And Machine, I think you were dead on, huh? Both players going with a 12 pool.
Yeah, both players going to the 12 pool here. It would have been cool to see. Actually, it wouldn't have been cool to see because I hate it. But a hatch first, like coin flip counterplay from one of the players. But you know what? It's fine. Both players basically have even builds, as you mentioned. The first Overlord scout from Fengzi really going to be the big difference maker so far here. Overlord, I don't think it quite saw that drone. A little surprised he's not trying to peek in. There we go. It's barely on the edge of that vision there from the Overlord. Great scouting from Fengzi here.
Yeah, I think Fengzi was boosting a little bit more smoothly because he was able to get his hatchery down just a slight bit earlier, including his gas. So
Fengzi, I believe, also made a single drone. Yep, we just saw it complete. That is such a big difference in this matchup when you get that first scout off. Fengzi obviously has played through this situation thousands of times. And I gotta say, Fengzi is off to a very strong start in this game too.
Both put their lair down already. Probably gonna get speed next. That 2 Ling difference won't matter so much, right? Because of the travel distance, he'll be able to get up some more Lings before it gets there.
Yep, travel distance as well as, Zetty can't know right now. We see him scouting across the map with a single Ling. Even this is a little risky, right? If Fengzi went 9 pool speed and Zetty just split off a single Zergling and it got eaten, he could lose the game because of this. But as is, it will end up paying off a bit. He's going to see the natural timing. He's going to see the Zergling count. He's even going to get into the main and see the layer timing, or at least the layer building. So, Zetty doing the best he can to mitigate his current situation.
Yeah, he should know. He probably should look at the drone count and say, hey, all right, we see a drone from him as well now, so.
Yeah,
Drone
2 drones.
Yep.
Ooh, sunken, though. I don't know about that. I mean, when you're dead even on builds like this and you see that it is a lair, I don't know if going sunken is the best idea, but I mean, maybe if he just sunkens and then completely drones from here, it could be good for him. It's hard to say, but yeah, every drone really matters in this matchup.
Yeah, and just the pure cost, right? Because you had such a low eco play to put down a creep colony and morph it to a sunken, and just all that lost mining time from that one drone is a big deal. And I think Fengzi is scouting that, saying, okay, I'm just going to make a couple extra lings, and then I'm just going to be safe. Like, I don't need to be the aggressor here. I have a higher unit count, higher drone count. So we already see pretty much 12 drones in the main and 3 drones at the nat.
I mean, look at that gas timing for Fengzi, right? Like he's already taking the extractor at the natural. He realizes he doesn't have to have that sunken because he has that perfect vision. He has Overlord scouting between natural to natural here. So if Zetty were to move out, he would, see it in time. And yeah, I don't know, man. Things are looking really good for Zetty here. Wow, Zetty even maybe wanting to put on, or Fengzi rather, wanting to put on a little bit of pressure.
I think he noticed that Zetty made a couple extra drones like we were talking about. He's like, all right, we only have like 10 lings in a sunken. Maybe if I kill the lings off, I can get a run by. And it forces him to put down the evolution chamber to kind of block some of the surface area as well. And we see him peeling off. He's going for the sunken and the drones. Good drone pool here.
Very good drone pool from Zetty. Nice wall off. Oh, wow. 4 lings running into the main. And remember, these are speedlings. There is no speed yet for Zetty, so this could do a lot of damage, actually.
Yeah. 2 drones went down to the natural and 3 in the main. So 5 drones dead from this Ling move out here. Very significant. Ling is coming back to the thing, killing another drone. That's 6 drones down from this pressure already.
Yeah, and I mean, Fengzi is still going to be able to produce those muta at the same time in the main, so he should have plenty to hold here. But yeah, Zetty, I mean, his econ is really just being ransacked.
Yeah, we're down to 8 drones here total for Zetty, and he's going to probably catch an Overlord as well here, Machine. This will supply block Zetty as well. Really unfortunate. Good pick from Fengzi. As you see, he's stuck there. Ling's trying to move out, but these are not speedlings, so these mutas can just easily pick them off.
Yeah, Fengzi's recognized he's just in such a dominant position here, and Zetty knows it too. We're not even seeing Zetty go for some type of a counter play with the Muta Scourge yet. He's just going to try to probably spend as much eco as he can and then go for it. Only 4 mutas for Zetty to the 8 of Fengzi.
Yeah, we see the sun going down because he's like, I'm not going to get countered. No reason for me to play risky. I'm so ahead at this point. Oh, he's going to catch the lings. Anyway, unfortunate there for Zetty.
I feel like Fengzi could just go for a timing here. The sunken's up. There's no chance of any counter damage. Look at the flock of Scourge. Oh my gosh. So many Scourge already out from Fengzi. And here we go. Fengzi moving towards the Scourge of Zetty. Actually just going to go try to pick off some drones at the natural here. And there's just no saving these for Zetty.
Yeah, here we go. The micro battle begins. And there are just so many more units here for Fengzi. I think we're going to be waiting here any second for the GG, and there it is.
Wow, wow, wow. Pretty dominant display there from Fengzi, taking a very quick 2-0 over the Peruvian Zerg Zetty. Yeah, man, I mean, that's why I really feel like Fengzi could be one of the big favorites to win this group, actually.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I mean, every step of the way, it seemed like he had his build just crisp, and he was making all the right decisions: when to drone, when to make lings, when to pressure, when to back up. Just a master class there from Fangsy. Really well done. So he will be moving into the winners match, and Zetty will fall down to the elimination match. But yeah, that was very impressive, as we've been saying a lot about our Chinese players here. But very, very, very well done from him.
Yeah, man. I mean, we sound like a broken record, but we're just seeing it group after group after group. These Chinese players come to win, man. They are really just that next level. They are up there with the best of the best in the foreign scene, and they're proving it. You know, Fengzi, I didn't see a whole lot of weaknesses there. I didn't see a whole lot of mistakes. Like, his builds were clean. The control was there. The harass, right? Like, how many Zergs would scout that wall off ZVZ and say, you know what? Yeah, like, let's go for it. Let's try to run some
attack
Zerglings
anyway.
in the main. I'm going to attack anyway. Let's go for drones. And I mean, he just clicked drones with such good Zergling spread, killed off so much eco. There was really no shot for Zetty to kind of stay in it there.
Yeah, I think he took the information that he saw, right? Like, oh, you're droning right now? Okay, now it's time to make some lings. I'm going to press. I already made my drones. I skipped them earlier. Now I'm good. And then just, like you said, the control, splitting two groups of Zerglings, attacking the Sunk and the Lings, and using some to get the drone line. I mean, just incredible stuff there. So really well done. So that'll move us on to our next match, though. We have Xin versus Hejek. Not as familiar with Xin, but if he's like any other Chinese Protoss players, he will be probably just as aggressive with those opening zealots if he decides to go with the gateway opener, and it'll be a lot of pressure. So
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Xin, I can't recall if he played in the previous season of BSL, but you know, I briefly like liquipedia him right before this, and he's had some pretty high level matches against some top tier Chinese players. And I mean, he's Protoss, so it's gonna be a lot here for Hejek to go up against.
Yeah, Hejek probably prepped, getting ready for this. We'll see what he has in his bag, what openers he's going to want to try to pull on some of these maps. You know, maybe he'll get tricky with it, 9 pull speed or something, try to blind counter a gateway opener and see what happens there. I know the meta kind of always switches back between gateway, forge. We see pro players doing both, so we'll see what Xin decides he wants to do against Hejek here. Probably not so familiar with each other, so maybe we'll see a little bit more standard games. Definitely should be interesting.
Yeah, it could be. All right, folks. Well, as we mentioned, we're going to be jumping into that next match, Xin going up against Hejek. But before we do that, let's go to a quick break. So those of you tuning in, don't go far. Soon we're going to have a pretty epic Protoss versus Zerg, Xin versus Hejek. But yeah, take it easy, folks, and we'll see you back in a few minutes. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BSL16 Group G. And yeah, my counterpart here, Razz, decided to catch a flight to China and replace Zin in this match, So you heard it here first, folks. Razz is officially Chinese now. He's going to start eating some orange chicken, but no. We have a last minute replacement, actually. Zin unfortunately is unavailable to make the match here, but Razz actually took second place in the last chance qualifier, falling to Blade in the finals. So yeah, Razz is actually legitimately the next up in order of operations to replace, and he's going to be facing off against Hejek here. So yeah, man, like BSL, this only happens here, folks. So yeah, let me know in the chat who you guys voting for, who you guys think's gonna win here. But yeah, Razz going to be going up against Hejek, Polish Protoss here, or Polish Zerg rather. Very strong Polish Zerg. Likes to do a lot of 9-pool speeds. Gets very aggressive with his early Ling openers. And we'll have to see how that works out for him here, because map number 1 going to be Butter. So pretty strong map for this matchup in particular. Wide open natural, no ramp leading to the main. So yeah, it could be pretty strong here. Yeah, I'm kind of just excited to see how this one goes. Razz, definitely someone who's not afraid to compete. He's competed in Gosu League for quite a few leagues in a row here, and we actually even see Hejek competed in Gosu League as well for BSL 11. Hejek, qualifying for this, and Razz just barely not quite making it out. Michael Rizzoli here. But yeah, man, it looks like map number 1. Razz is just a plate of pasta. Our New Jersey plate of pasta here. That's actually just his profile picture now. You are what you eat. Yeah, man. Yeah, no cheese though. He Raz likes the mutts. That's what he calls mozzarella, the mutts. But yeah. All right, folks, we are ready to jump into it here. It's going to be Razz going up against Hejek on Butter, game number 1. Let's check it out. And spawning top right as the blue Protoss hailing from New Jersey, it is Red Razz. And spotting bottom right as the red Zerg from Poland, it is Hejek. So as I mentioned, Hejek, definitely quite an aggressive Zerg, likes to really just, kind of lay into his opponent early, gain advantages through, kind of chaos. Really likes to, he's not afraid of things like cannon openers. He'll, kind of just try to find openings to tear down those cannons walls. Likes to do a lot of 973s. So Razz here gonna have to be pretty careful. We're seeing a pretty early pylon standard timing at the natural for Razz here. Razz, however, definitely a Protoss who likes to lean on early Zealot control. If I had to pick his favorite build for sure in this matchup, it's always going to be that 9-gate opener, but actually we're seeing something completely different from Razz here. Looks like this is likely going to be a Forge opener, and yeah, Razz likes to do some dirty Forge play occasionally here. We're seeing that first probe move into position behind Hejek's natural here, and likely he's going to end up just going for a cannon rush at the natural here. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, there's no hatchery at the natural. Why would you cannon rush the natural here? But he might not be, actually. But still, if you get a couple cannons up at that natural, it's very annoying for Zerg to try to deal with. Probe scouting the overpool out of Hejek. I like this opener for Zerg on this map. It's, I guess, just very safe, very standard on a map where cannon rushes are so common. You know, there's a lot big distance natural to natural, so a lot of the times doing things like a 9 pull here, you're really not going to find any damage with such an early pool, and in fact you end up kind of hindering your own economy as Zerg. Razz doing a little bit of probe harass there on that natural. Nexus down. He should be able to get the Nexus down and cannon, but he actually might even be a little greedy here, going for the... Never mind, I thought he was going to go gateway. 4 Lings out for Hejek. Good number of Zerglings to harass that early probe, prevent Expos from being blocked here. And yeah, but still, that cannon should be up in enough time. So it looks like third hatchery about to go down for Hejek. Probes being pulled into position. Razz not quite blocking his wall here. He's got to be a little careful. And yeah, it looks like 1 Ling going to make through. Oh, but it is weak. So Razz getting on top of that with a probe quite quickly. And yeah, Hejek actually just losing his map control there a little quickly. Will kill off the probe inside the main, so that's one advantage here. But yeah, that was a pretty big probe pull from Razz. I think a little too early. Might be hindering his eco here quite a bit. But I guess he was just kind of trying to survive here and make sure he was in a safe position. Likely going to be Zealot on the way. Vespian Geyser in the main being taken for Razz. Meanwhile, Lair already started for Hejek. So that means Lair in a very good time here for our Polish Zerg. Cybercore already underway. I think that's maybe slightly late here, but we'll have to see. Zealot moving across the map as well, but we already see 5 Zerglings out and likely more here from Razz. Zealot going to wisely move off to the side. I like this play here from Razz. He sees the Zergling count. He knows there's likely no chance he's going to be able to get much damage done, so the Zealot's actually more scary just being anywhere out on the map in order to keep Hejek's Zerglings back and prevent him from pressuring. But actually we are seeing the Zealot move in towards the third, a second Zealot coming in as well. So first Zealot likely going to end up pulling these Zerglings towards the third base. Nope, no reaction from Hejek. So actually, Zealot going to get in here on the third, picks off 1 drone, and second Zealot moving into the natural here, actually even being pulled back here from Hejek. Oh, almost kills the drone. But actually that Zealot will die. Looks like the Zealot has, at the third, has killed off 2 drones already from Hejek. Third base, taking some damage here from Hejek. Zealot just kind of moving around, trying to get whatever extra damage it can do at this point. But it will fall, not before trading for a Zergling. And already that Stargate is up here for Razz. Hejek's Spire likely also going to be completing here fairly soon. And it looks like a big Ling counter showing up here from Hejek. Razz going to need to make sure he's blocked this natural ramp, this natural entrance, and yeah, he has not. So Zergling run by going to do some significant damage here. Probes being pulled from the mineral line, and this is some scary stuff. Quite a few Zerglings inside the main here. Zealots scrambling to get into position to try to defend. Probes being pulled, but that Corsair already picking off an Overlord at the natural here for Hejek. Once that Overlord falls, there should be a slight supply block here for the Polish Zerg. Wow, very good control with those probes from Razz. Final Zealots getting into position. And yeah, looks like Razz doing what he needs to do to survive for the moment. Scourge out, so Razz going to need to be very careful with this first Corsair. He wants to get a scout off, he wants to confirm the Spire, and he will, but likely will end up paying the price and losing this first Corsair. Second Corsair out on the map as well, likely moving towards a third base. Oh, he's trying to kill another Overlord. This is Little bit of a mistake here from Razz. Likely going to end up losing these Corsairs for free. But actually, he might get an Overlord here. I'm very surprised he was able to pick off that Overlord. Still, either way, 2 Scourge coming in here. 1 Scourge making a nice connect. First Corsair falling. Second Corsair very weak, but should be able to make it out in time over the cannons in the main. And but wow, very healthy drone count here from Hejek, I gotta say. Razz building up that Zealot count here. Looks like Hedrick making his way to that 6 hatchery mark. Zealot legs finishing, and the first Zealot timing underway here for Razz. Corsair count slowly building up. Razz looking like he's just going to go straight in for the natural, and here we go. Diving in. Getting on top of quite a few Hydralisks here. Drones being pulled, trying to go for a little bit of a drone drill there, but unfortunately kind of missing the mark. And looks like all of these Hydralisks will fall here at the natural from Hejek. Quite a bit of eco damage done. And unfortunately, once again, the drones are just kind of messing up the Hydras more than the Zealots. So good trades here for Razz so far. But still, that Hydra count looking pretty daunting for Hejek. He's got a big mass of Hydras. You know, if Razz isn't careful and he doesn't get Storm in time, doesn't get cannons up at the natural in time, a counter timing could be what he needs to get a win here. Corsairs moving across the map. It is only 4. Once Razz recognized that this wasn't Muta play, it looks like he just wanted to cut off the Corsair count and save that gas for Templars. And yeah, it looks like good scouting being done. Wow, pulling the Hydras out of position so that he can hit a run by into the main here. High level play here from Razz. And yeah, it looks like he might even grab another Overlord. Oh no, this is not looking too great for our Polish Zerg here. Another supply block. All the Zealots still inside the main. And remember, this is just buying more and more time for Razz to get that key Storm upgrade and build up that Templar count. Spire even being picked off. I didn't realize that was going to fall so fast. But still, Hejek doing a good job with the drone drilling this time. Really disrupting these last few Zealots. And Razz just trying to trade for whatever drones he can before final Zealots fall. Oh man, but these Corsairs, it's just 4 Corsairs, but they are just finding each and every single available Overlord. Razz wisely backing out towards the 3rd here. This is actually going to force Hejek once again to move over to this 3rd with that Hydralisk group. Razz deciding, screw it, let's just dive on these last few Overlords. And actually, these Corsairs are in such an annoying position here. Just right behind the natural, right behind the 3rd, keeping Hejek from really feeling comfortable moving out with this Hydra force that he has. Another Overlord. Oh, nope. Spoke too soon. Looks like that Overlord will make it out. Looks like Razz is just kind of trying to keep Hejek in his main with these Corsairs. He's finally built up a pretty significant Templar Zealot count. And I mean, this is a lot of Hydras from Hejek, but it is pure Hydra. There are no Muta, there are no Lurker yet. And as we all know, Hydras are pretty good unless Storm is involved. So actually, Razz feeling very comfortable. He's not even choosing to just take the 3rd. He wants to go for a kill here. And I gotta say, Hejek doing a great job keeping the supply fairly even given the circumstances. Here we go. Big concave. Oh no, Templar moving up. Actually getting some pretty good storms off still. 1 Templar did get picked pretty quickly. And Razz forced to back off here, but not before getting a couple more pretty significant storms. And Hejek actually going to be moving forward. He's going to need to prevent this 3rd base from Razz in order to kind of move on here. He might not even know about it though. There we go. Lurker eggs being morphed in the center of the map here. Just 1 for now. Corsair scouting into the main here for Razz. Third gas already up for Hejek, and honestly, when that third gas is up, that just means so many lurkers are possible. Hejek scouting this third base location, though. This is pretty key stuff. If he's able to shut off this expansion and keep Razz to 2 base, that would be, you know, pretty difficult for Razz to handle at this point. Shuttle loading up some, I think, probably Zealots or Templars, and looking to drop inside the main. Overlord will catch the shuttle, though. But yeah, this is big damage here from Hejek. Razz going to be supply blocked after losing that Nexus and those few pylons. He's built up a pretty big unit count here. Looks like he's going for a storm on those forward Hydra. 3 Zealots being dropped off inside the main. Could likely get some good harass in here for Razz. No sunken in the main. And yeah, it looks like those Zealots going to start doing some work on that mineral line for Hejek. Hejek does have a good amount of Hydras at home, though, to defend this. And there's no DT, so should be able to clean this up fairly quickly. Still, this is annoying for Hejek. Pool not quite going to fall, so good save. This Lurker contain is going to be very difficult for Razz to break, though. It's quite a few Lurkers from Hejek. Very good positioning, very good spread on those. Ideally, as Zerg, you always want to spread your Lurkers so that only a single storm can basically hit each Lurker. You never want to have one storm hit 2 Lurkers at the same time. And Razz has been supply blocked for quite some time here, so we're seeing a little bit of money stack up. Gateway count is rising. Shuttle moving around the left side. I'm not sure what's in that. Hejek now feeling comfortable enough to take a 4th base, and I think this is great from him. Uh-oh. Looks like Shuttle will drop off his ult here. It actually, funny enough, gets a Hydra kill. So not a bad pickup there. Razz starting to storm a little pathway outside of this base. Forge is not spinning. I wonder if Razz has the +1 armor yet. +1 armor could be pretty big. Oh, it's +2 armor already. So Razz has really been on top of these upgrades. Not too bad. Razz slowly just trying to whittle down this Lurker count. Create some space so he can get out. And there we go. Another nice Lurker pickup. Looks like more Lurkers going to move in here. Good storm, though, from Razz. Hydra's trying to get on top of these Dragoons here from Razz. And here we go. This is the moment that Razz decided to break out here. Templars at the flank. Good storm on quite a few Lurkers there. And Razz slowly starting to try to break out here, but there's still so much Zerg left from Hejek. Razz might be in a tough position here now. Hejek going to be on that 4 base count fairly quickly. And yeah, it looks like he's at least going to put enough pressure to get a probe to that high ground below the main. And then maybe if he can get a pylon and a few cannons up here and just kind of hang on, he can pull back into this game a little bit. But it's going to be tough. Yep, we're seeing Hedrick reposition some Lurkers. Oh no! A little bit of a blunder there, kind of throwing a couple of these Lurkers away. Good spread though from Hedrick, good movement. Templars, unfortunately, just being picked off by these group of Hydralists. And at least that 3rd base is getting up. No drones at the 4th quite yet. Queen's Nest down here for Hejek, so likely he'll be making his way to Hive Tech here pretty shortly. Zealot drop towards that 4th base. Not going to find anything, though. Ooh, Storm Drop at the 3rd, and this is where all the drones are for Hejek, unfortunately. So actually, that did significant damage to Hejek's economy here. Looks like Hejek realizes he's kind of in a tough position, wants to pressure this possible 3rd base, and yeah, moving up into position right before cannons complete. So this is very good now from Hejek. But actually, probes being transferred. Lurkers, though, walking uphill. We have observers in position to scout out this lurker timing. And wow, massive storms once again from Razz. Oh my gosh, going to do so much damage to this lurker Hydra of Hejek. Hejek trying to rebuild that arc, that contain at the natural here of Razz. But Razz actually got the probe transfer over to that 3rd, which is really the key. So as long as he gets that gas mining there, he should be in at least a position where he can continue to play from here. Good storms. Zealot Dragoon kind of moving down, but Hejek just putting so much pressure between this natural and 3rd. It's very difficult for Razz to find good purchase here. We're seeing the supplies get more and more even between the two of these, which is not good for Protoss if you're in this position here. Hejek really just starting to take a pretty commanding lead in this game. Anytime you're trading Hydra for Dragoon, you got to be pretty happy about it. 4th base up and saturated. There's 3rd base not quite resaturated yet. Razz still not with a 3rd gas at that 3rd base. That is very key for Protoss. You really need that extra Vespian gas to get those tech, higher tech units, those more Templar, more Archon. As is, he's got pretty much just cannons, and a very heavy Dragoon Zealot force, no gas really to speak of. Main and natural fully mined out now for Razz. So Razz really needs to honestly just sit and take a 4th base and try to work his way back into this game that way. Hejek with just the constant Hydra production here. Hydra Lurker, but it looks like he is choosing to move back finally. He's decided to recede map control. And this should allow Razz to take that 4th base, which is going to be very essential to staying in this game. Looks like Hydra Lurker timing going towards that 3rd of Razz. Actually going to end up backing up, though. Lots of cannons on that high ground for Razz. Really wants to make sure that base does not get countered at any point. It's kind of a nice base to take as well because it also helps defend Razz's main against, any type of Lurker Hydra drop play. No 4th base yet, though, from Razz. Razz kind of sitting in the middle of the map with his units here. And wow, looks like a big flank coming in from Razz, but Hejek forced to back up. That was such a big storm on that ramp. I think Razz just needs to recognize that he needs to take a 4th base right now, or he could be in some serious trouble. Hive is done. We're not really seeing much tech with that Hive yet. There's no Defiler Mound. Obviously no Guardian or anything like that quite yet. I don't even know if a second Spire has been made since the first one was picked off. Oh, okay, there is a Defiler Mound, actually, in the main. Oh, no. Big pickup on that shuttle for Hejek there. So very well placed with those Hydralisks at the 4th base. Razz is taking a 4th Nexus, top left. I just don't think he can quite pressure yet. And yeah, it looks like he's recognized that Hejek gladly meeting this force of Razz in the center of the map. Lurker's coming in a little late, though. Oh my gosh, big storms once again from Razz, and we're starting to see that Templar count skyrocket here. Templar's getting picked off pretty easily, though. I think Razz just is getting a little too aggressive with this Templar count. Really needs to build up a force of Archons, I'd like to see at this point. Looks like the 4th base of Hejek over here, a little exposed, but I think he's got the unit count he needs to really defend this. Oh man, once again, Razz's Templar just a little too far forward, and we're not seeing really the Archon count you would want to just kind of give some sustainability to this army. There we go. One Archon is being morphed here. Dragoon's starting to get into position, but I think the rally of Hejek might be all he needs to really defend this one. Flanking Archon coming in here. Big storm, though, and unfortunately, Hejek forced to move in with these lurkers under storm. Razz just going for the drones at this point. We do have a couple more Templar. So another nice storm going down there for Razz. A couple flanking Templar as well. Big damage being done, but yeah, it looks like Hejek going to have what he needs to really just survive, hold off this 4th base for now. At least that should have bought a little time for Razz to get his own 4th up and running. No probes at it quite yet, but it looks like we are seeing a probe transfer from that 3rd base. But big Zergling counter here now from Hedrick. I'm not sure if Razz is really going to be able to hold this. We do have a couple storms at least. And actually, yeah, it looks like the Zergling's trying to get on top of this Templar count of Razz. Big storms, but he does trade for a single Templar. Wounds another one. And 5th base going to be scouted here from Razz, bottom right. So yeah, things just kind of stabilizing other than Hejek's main, natural, and 3rd slowly getting to be a little mined out here. So this could be scary if the game goes on too much longer for Hejek. Because once Protoss gets this 4th gas up and running, I mean, really, the Archon count is going to start skyrocketing for Razz, and that's just always difficult to deal with as Zerg. Remember, we do have that Defiler Mound, so once Consume's researched, once Plague's researched, that should be a big tech boost here from Hejek in this matchup. He really should be able to get some, at least soften up the Protoss ball of Zealot Dragoon. But it looks like, man, Razz just can't stop attacking. He will be moving once again, bottom left. I like these just constant pressure out of Razz. He sends a few Zealots bottom right, forces unit movement, and then goes down bottom left and is going for another killing blow. Still, though, Lurkers are set up once again from Hejek. He's been doing a great job with that unit positioning. And looks like Razz might be forced to back out here. Nope, he's just going to go for it. Archon's moving in, trying to get some big damage down. I'm not sure how close that hatchery is to being killed off, but I think it is pretty weak. Yeah, it's in the red already. And wow, big hatchery kill there from Razz. Razz just kind of splitting off the last few units he has. Still picking off more and more drones here. But it looks like these 2 Archons, Dragoon and Zealot, will finally be cleaned up from Hejek. And Razz does have a 4th base now, just starting to mine that 4th gas. Hejek will at least have another base to transfer to, but things slowly look like they're starting to favor our Protoss here. Remember, we do have that Defiler tech, so things can always get a little scary, especially if the force starts getting a little more Lurker-Ling Defiler heavy for Protoss. We haven't seen Reaver yet. We haven't really seen Arbiter or any kind of additional tech from Protoss. It's mainly just been the Templar. It's mainly just been the Archon, which is fine. But I think big numbers of Lurker, Defiler, Ling, Plague is all Hejek would really need to do some serious damage at this point. Oh no. Shuttle coming in. Templar down. Big storm. quite a few drones. And remember, folks, this is the only mining base really to speak of for Hejek. So, I mean, Zerg Eco's obviously so important. And if he's not able to really mine from this base efficiently, Razz is just going to get further and further ahead. Razz taking a 5th base. If that 5th base gets up, that would mean both our players are on even base count, which is obviously not good for Zerg. We do have a full energy Defiler though, and that's a lot of Zealots just asking to be plagued. Defiler is in position. Oh, but it looks like maybe there's no plague. Zealots just getting on top of these Zerglings. Huge storms. There's no lurkers here. It looks like Hejek was kind of just spread a little too thin. The lurkers are at the outskirts of the bases trying to defend the very important naturals, and it looks like Razz is just going in to try to kill the tech here. Hydra Den is down. That will stop Hydra production for now. Hatcheries are falling, and Hejek is scrambling to get units in position to try to defend this. And actually, no, it looks like he's just going to go for a counter here. Probably a good call. I mean, he's got to prevent this 5th and the 4th, I'd say, of Razz to really stay in this game. But Razz just charging into the main here, trying to kill off what tech is remaining of Hejek. And here we go. Lurkers burrowing outside the 5th. Oh, they're going to pick up quite a few probes here. Massive probe damage there. And actually, good swarm going down as well. Should be able to kill off these cannons, but it looks like Razz going to be flanking with some Zealots of his own. Cannons should provide some detection, and Hejek calls GG there. So well done. What a back and forth game from both Razz and Hejek there for a game number 1. I think it started off looking pretty good with Razz. That early Zealot control, as expected from Razz. It's kind of his bread and butter. He likes to play hyper aggressive and is very good with that early Zealot control in PvZ. But Hejek, man, he hung on. He was able to whittle the Corsair count down. I really liked his contain. The Lurker Hydra contain at the natural was, is always such a strong way to play Zerg vs Protoss. And if he was just able to hang on to it for a little bit longer, right? Like maybe if he kept the Spire up and was able to just scourge observers, for the rest of the game and hang on to that contain, he obviously would have been able to take down Razz there. But Razz slowly just kind of slugged through it. He was able to hold that high ground 3rd, eventually hold that 4th base. I mean, the storm drops, the constant storm drops at the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the Zealot harass, it's just, kind of the way he plays, and it's a very strong style to play in this matchup, honestly. So, yeah, well done there from Razz. Obviously with this BSL format, Hejek will have next map pick. Kind of interested to see what he'd pick from here. If it was me personally... Oh, okay. We're going to have vOddy joining here to help me cast this next match, actually. So, should be pretty cool. But yeah, as I was saying, Hejek, he gets map choice here. So, as far as like good maps in the map pool for Zerg vs Protoss specifically, there's obviously Sylphid, there's Vermeer, there's Circuit Breakers, which is kind of a old school one that you really don't see a ton of anymore, but I think it's highly underrated for this matchup at the moment. So we'll have to see what Hejek chooses to go with here.
Do you hear me?
Hey yo, what's up, vOddy?
Hey. Yeah,
thanks for saving
would
me.
Be a good map for him. He really turned that into a good game, and he could have won at several points, despite, remember, him being behind due to Razz's good aggression early on. He fell behind and still got into a dominant position despite that later, just clawing his way back with constant fighting, constant Templar sniping, constant high-risk fighting at the front.
Yeah, the Templar sniping for sure. His drone count at one point also was insane. At one point with the 3rd base, if Razz hadn't a storm drop that 3rd base, right, I don't know if he comes back.
Yeah, despite taking all of damage, he really recovered. got into a dominant position, and then only fell behind because of that slow shuttle storm drop, which was a great but risky play.
Great but risky play. You know, I wonder if he kept with the slow storm drop because he knew he sniped the Spire, right? So Scourge was never an option. Yeah, I mean that's just my guess, but yeah, you're right. Like if the Spire stayed up somehow, if he had Scourge, likely there's no way to come back from a game like that. But you know, Razz found a way here, and it looks like the map's going to be Nemesis. So yeah, Razz obviously with a lead here, but yeah, Nemesis, pretty interesting map for the matchup.
Yeah, that's a good choice, I suppose. I mean, if he's practiced it and his opponent hasn't, then he has a massive advantage. And also, it has to be mentioned that Zerg doesn't have to adapt as much, possibly, to a map like this as the other races, so good choice for him.
Very true. Well, with that, our players are ready to go here. Let's jump into game number 2 of Razz going up against Hejek.
Yeah, so cross positions. Now, on a map like this, it really matters a lot what the positions are actually, because right now, I mean, it's more relevant perhaps versus Terran, but he can take 4 bases off one entrance if he wants to, and you cannot do that necessarily if you are not cross position, right? Because you're gonna be facing your opponent in one of the directions. But right now, he could go for that.
Right. Yeah, good call out. You know, it's what's so interesting about this map. Whenever you see these like free bases, you know, obviously as Zerg, anytime you get free bases, it's great, right? You always want to take them. It's very scary. But at the same time, Protoss getting like, you know, easy to defend free bases, let's call it, you know, can be quite strong in this matchup as well.
Yeah, and Protoss actually can defend them. You can spam cannons and put a few tempo there, and that's actually pretty strong. You know, you can keep that for all the mid game. Only like a big swarm drop, a doom drop is really going to take that out. Yeah, and of course you can catch the drop with Corsairs too, which is a potentially game-winning move. So Protoss can use the map also.
I was going to say, like, I wonder if like 2-port Sair Reaver, you know, could be quite strong here with the
this is definitely a map that you could go for it on. Like, you don't have to do it like on Andromeda. It's a literally Zerg favorite if you don't play Sair Reaver. Here, it's okay to play standard, but Sair Reaver, if you're that type of player, is definitely strong. However, it's a style not a lot of people practice and know to play, so if he's got that down, we might indeed see it, but we'll see.
Alright, can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
Razz definitely does not have that down.
Okay.
He does not play Sair Reaver at all. I think he could if he tried it, but no. I don't know if I've ever seen him go Sair Reaver, so yeah, likely not going to happen, but we'll see. There's you know, maybe it's something he's been practicing in secret just for the BSL.
That would have been pretty cool. Although he wasn't supposed to play, he filled in, so probably not, right?
Yeah, probably not.
He's substituting for Sin. Doing really well, though. Oh, by the way, we've got a cannon rush here. Like, he was trying to do that last game. Now he's actually getting it off.
Yeah, Hejek, with the appropriate move here, though, I don't think this is going to work out for Razz. I mean, it's going to be a little disruptive, right?
Yeah, he's getting a few drones
he got
in.
the cannon up, but yeah, quite a few drones going through there.
Dealing with this.
Yeah, I mean, he made it look pretty simple there, pretty easy. Three drones going to get trapped. Little inconvenient, I'd say. Yeah. But still, like, big advantage here to Hejek.
Sure. You know, actually, I want to mention that, like, yeah, he's losing some mining time, but the point is, I think he's going to do well if he can just avoid being disrupted. Like, last game, he was really on the back foot all the time from that early aggression, and I think he picked this map because you can't do that on this map. On this map, all he has to do is sunk in the front, and then really, he can't get harassed, right? With Zealots. Right. So as long as he can just keep the opponent from disrupting him, I think he's going to have a really good game, considering how well he did from behind. Like, imagine what he can do when he's not behind.
Yeah, you're very right. And I mean, this is honestly the style that Razz likes to play. He is one of those players who likes to get in the other player's face, likes to play hyper aggro, whether it's Corsair, whether it's Zealot. And yeah, we're actually seeing Hejek taking another natural. I like this. That's
also a thing you can do on this. I mean, I was thinking Circuit Breaker for that reason. You know, kind of that older style where you get a free main behind the natural. But on this map, it's like, you get 4 bases, and then you get a 5th. I mean, the macro is going to be out of this world if he can hang on to this.
I feel like it was an adjustment. We saw the drone going towards 12 o'clock, and I think he, like, realized, oh, okay, Razz failed a cannon rush. I now have complete map control and should be able to drone till the end of time. So I like the adjustment here from Hejek.
This may actually even be that he saw the cannon rush, which means no zealots, and therefore he doesn't fear doing this, perhaps. Like maybe he didn't know if it was a one-gate expansion. Like he might prefer the Inside Expo against a gateway expansion, and this against a Forge.
Yeah, he might. He might, honestly. I mean, to the point that you were saying earlier, by not taking either 12 or 9 o'clock, at least this base is available and open for harassment. So now he has two entrances he has to defend instead of just a single one. But with that early control, map control, I think this is still going to pay off for Hejek here.
Yeah, and he didn't do any sunken colonies last game. A lot of Zergs don't feel good doing sunkens. They'd rather make Hydras. But when you get a base for free behind it, you really are okay with making those sunkens, right? Because you're investing in another base by doing so.
Zealot trying to get in here, do a little bit of trading. We'll end up just kind of pulling the Zerglings around of Hejek. And it looks like Razz is going to try to pivot and harass the third base. But this is quite a few Zerglings out from Hejek. I don't think Razz is going to be able to get much of a trade here.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like it's not accomplishing anything, but he's scouting because he wants to see, like, are you, Hydra all-inning me? What's going on? And he's going to see that it's safe, he sees the extra macro hatch. And he gets a drone even, okay.
Yeah, gets a drone. It's kind of hard to stop. We'll scout the speedlings here as well from Hejek, and a creep colony. Now, another Zealot going into the natural once again. I don't know, man. He's throwing a lot of Zealots away here. It's definitely not quite paying off for Razz this time
I agree.
around.
I mean, it was good to scout, but after you've already scouted, and especially scouting all those Zerglings, then you shouldn't really do it anymore, right? Because you accomplished what you needed to do, which was to check for all-ins.
Yep. Corsair will be moving across the map here. We see the Spire is slightly behind, so you might be able to pick up an Overlord here.
Yeah, I think you will.
That would be pretty nice, but actually counter speedling timing coming in here. I think there's a hole at the top.
There is. But Razz learned his lesson, putting 2 cannons down this game.
Yeah, good adjustment there, and I think good pullback from Hejek as well. I don't think he would have really been able to get many speedlings inside there. First Overlord falling. Corsair will see that Spire timing, knows that he could probably pick off one more Overlord if he's quick about it.
I think the Scourge are on the way now, so he might lose this Corsair if he tries to go for this.
Yeah, it's going to be close. I think it was like pretty much right when that Spire finished is when he was clicking on this. And yeah, it looks like you're right. Corsair going to fall here.
Oh, he wouldn't even get the Overlord? Oh, yeah, he got it. Okay.
Oh, man, very nice. Some Bonnet level Sarah control there, and then it dies. But still, it's annoying for Zerg.
So, we do have Sunkens this time, and as I was saying, I mean, he's getting a 4th behind that, and Razz, I don't think he's playing to the map as well as Hejek is. He's not expanding. He's going 4-gate, and if you just make Sunkens here, you get ahead of Zerg,
Yeah, you absolutely do. Like you're saying, I think Razz could take a free third, at 6 o'clock here, if he just sent a probe to it, right? And it's free. There's no chance Zerglings are there. There's no chance of, anything being able to delay it. So I'm kind of curious why. And it looks like Scourge will be scouting the 6 o'clock base and see that, in fact, there is no base yet for Razz. So a little interesting here. It's kind of Razz's style to do a lot of 2-base timings in this matchup, like 8-gate. So Razz, kind of just doing his comfort picks here. Obviously, it's kind of a last-minute drop-in for this. So
on a map like this, with this style, you can still play 2-base attacks, but you need a Reaver with it if Zerg makes Sunkens.
I don't see a lot of units here for Hejek. It's been drones.
Sunken?
Yeah,
he sees this coming, but
scary. Oh,
Razz, these are slow lots, though.
Oh man, it doesn't matter. I think with just 2 Sunkens, yeah, he would have killed that. But he's gonna pivot and go to the natural. It won't end up paying
off. Did you see that Evo chamber though? That was his plan on the natural. Anyway, here we go. A lot of units here, even lurkers on the way, so this should be fine for Hejek.
Yeah, Lurker's morphing. I mean, Razz has got to recognize. He's just got to back up. He's got to take a third. He's got to take a fourth and go from there. We are finally seeing a probe go towards the 3 o'clock base and 6 o'clock base. So this is fine. He should just be able to double expo, and he's still in this one.
Right. Now, Zerg can, of course, break down the eggs. And there is like an early game section, you know, where Zerg has map control and Protoss doesn't, and you could use that to break down the eggs, but he didn't do it. So
yeah,
at this point, these really are safe bases.
Yeah, I'm a little curious why he didn't do that. I mean, it's so key. Even just a single Zergling over time on an egg will tear it down fairly quickly. So yeah, and with that, there's no chance of either 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock being harassed. So this is actually going to allow Razz to get back in this one. Very fast hive.
Razz is closing it off. That's good.
Yeah, he's at least using this map control, you know, to his advantage here, closing this off.
Of course, the drops will come into play later, but that's so far away, you know, like, a Doom drop is just not going to show up for many minutes, and he's got a lot of cards to play before them.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that the hive timing is what it is, instead of just going for that faster drop, right? You know, I think he could have researched drop instead of getting the Queen's Nest, getting the hive this quickly, and he probably right now could be shutting down that third base of Razz, but I guess it's just a different style to play.
Yeah, I mean, drops are strong on any map, and on this map even more so. But not everybody likes to play them, because if the Protoss catches your drop, he actually just wins, you know? And that can't happen.
Right. Yeah, that definitely can't happen. Corsair's moving up top right here. It's only 3. Just kind of scouting, and he's just going to see nothing but eco and more hatcheries out of Hejek. You know, Hejek, he's got a big enough army now that I think he's got to try to get some semblance of map control a little bit. You know, maybe just a few lurkers pressuring out on the map, you know, trying to maybe tear down the eggs for 6 o'clock or something like that could be great.
That would have been a great move, actually. Like, he has the units to do it right now, but he might actually be assuming that Protoss close to that, because he gave up map control for so long.
Yeah, I guess so.
He also have beautiful scouting, though, for most of the map. Although, we got a DT drop, speaking of beautiful scouting.
Oh, man. Razz loves this play. Oh,
good
nice
reaction,
scouting, though. Yeah, great reaction there. Out of Hejek.
Oh, what is this? What's in the shuttle?
Oh, my...
Yeah.
You're kidding me. Massive storm drop. I thought he was going to get all the transferring drones,
exactly,
too.
that was the plan for Razz. Like, provoke the transference of the drones and then storm them all. But Hejek really keeping up well here. I mean, he's not dying to any of this.
Razz actually has good unit positioning, though. Going to be killing off the eggs, looking for 12 o'clock.
This was never closed off.
Yeah, this was never closed off. This could be a little scary.
It's actually a trap. He's baiting him to do it, because now, this is like what you should never do as Protoss, which is go all in and get caught.
Yeah.
So he's not bringing all his units. I know he has more than this.
I think Hejek needed to be set up with the lurkers. I think that was best case scenario for Razz, because the lurkers weren't pre-set up. Anytime you have to move into the Protoss army with unburrowed lurkers, it's not great. And Razz gonna break into the main here. This is bizarre.
Yeah, he not really. Wow. Okay. To the main now.
Yeah, I mean,
he's falling apart a bit. I thought he had enough units to flank there, but he just didn't bring all of it.
Yeah. Well, all the lurkers seem to be top right. There's no lurkers at the natural, nothing in the main. And Hejek is none the wiser. I don't think he knows about this timing going into his main right now.
And he's going to have a huge army in his main in a second.
You got to expect it, right? He saw that Razz was killing off the eggs at 12 o'clock. Like, he's got to be going somewhere. Maybe he thinks Razz is going to the natural top right, but either way, this is bad news here for Hejek. Just still no vision of it. Here we go.
Yikes.
Oh no. Evo chamber being targeted down the main. And what do you do if you're Hejek? You can't counter. There's no base to counter.
Right.
So it looks like drones being pulled. Hejek trying to mitigate as much as he can here. His forces going inside the main here, but so much damage already being done from Razz.
Yeah, this is game-winning damage, really.
Yeah, big storm going down. Overlord's being picked off here. Both the Evo Chambers, Spire, Defiler Mound are done. I mean, Zealot's not even bothering to attack units here. He's just going straight for the Hive. I don't know if he'll get the Hive, honestly, but okay, it looks like he is splitting off. Pool down, though, too. I mean, this is just such worthwhile damage here for Razz. Wow. I mean, more and more Ling's going to trickle in here. He will eventually clean this up, right? It's not that many units anymore.
Also, he uses the Hive.
Yeah, that would be
And he
very...
does, it looks like.
It's going to be close. It's going to be really close. Oh my gosh, he does get the Hive. I can't believe it. I mean, that's bad. That's really rough. That's going to delay upgrades, right? He killed both the Evo Chambers. No Spire, no Defiler Mound. Hejek really went from such a great spot to being in such a difficult spot here. There's not many drones at the third base. Razz has this 6 o'clock base now, even if he's not quite mining the gas at it. And I mean, if you're Razz, you just need to sit. Maybe start slowly taking bottom left.
There's so many things you can do now. I mean, you can take split map, like take the other main and do a Reaver transition. You could also try to kill the opponent with the Reaver.
Yeah, you could definitely try to just go for a kill with the Reaver. I think you just sit, right? Like, Reavers are so good defensively that he doesn't even need to attack, like, especially on a map like this.
Yeah, just expanding it and going Reaver would be great. We see like a desperate counterattack attempt here, but like you were saying, there's only one entrance now, and Razz has closed off everything. So there is no way in anywhere now, anymore.
Yeah, no more way in here. Looks like Hejek trying to go for a big counter in the center here, flanking lurkers showing up, but I mean, there's just so much Protoss here. It's going to be quite difficult for Hedrick to take this.
I think what we can learn from this is that when you have map control, as either player did at one point, you should really open up your opponent's gates and close your own, right? Like, do it when you have the opportunity.
Yep, do it when you have the opportunity, exactly. Lurker's going to be picked off in the center here. Oh, yeah. Observer slowly moving in here. We'll kill off that final Lurker. I mean, we're starting to see such a supply discrepancy, such an eco discrepancy, as you'd expect given these positions between the two. But Hejek trying to just pressure, create some space here. But Razz is just able to easily hang on with the extra eco boost that he has. I mean, the upgrades are going to start kicking in here as well, too, right? Like, those Evo chambers have been significantly delayed here. Oh, Reaver dropped.
Right even.
But Hejek did have the Scourge to defend it. Reaver going to get a few... Yeah, a few Hydra there.
Problem is, Protoss literally has more bases than Zerg. And that's a bit of a yikes.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a yikes. I mean, base count aside, the drone count for Hejek is really suffering. And GG is called there. And it looks like Red Razz going to move on to the winners match after a pretty epic series there.
So I guess I get to continue substituting because he's still in it.
Yeah,
Cool.
He's still in it, going to the winners match as well. So it looks like, yeah, Razz going to be facing off against the Chinese Zerg Fengzi in our winners match here. Hejek obviously will move down to the elimination match to face off against Zetty in a pretty epic ZVZ. But yeah, man, Razz last minute substitute, looks like he's playing pretty well. Might give Fengzi a little bit of a run for his money here.
Yeah, I was talking about how, on a map like this, will he be able to disrupt his opponent's flow? And, well, he was. Was able to use that gate, which wasn't expected. Just came in at a really abnormal timing. Like, normally you can never kill a Zerg at that timing on a different map.
Yeah, and I mean, in particularly, as you're saying, on that map, right? Like, we were both saying early on, like, oh, why is Razz not taking his third base yet? Hedrick's on a fourth. But he just kind of found that opening, found that opportunity, and made it work. Yeah, it looks like first map, obviously, of the winners match going to be Power Bond, 3-player map. you know, I think it's a pretty strong map for PvZ, or Zerg versus Protoss, I'd say. Can be a little difficult for PvZ at times just because, you know, the closest base is that mineral only. So in that regard, it's more similar to like a Circuit Breakers or something like that. And
Yeah.
I think Zerg likes it when Protoss just takes a mineral only as a third base, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the mineral only is quite far away. Like, you can harass them with Hydralisks, you can fight and make them earn that all the way. And when they finally get it, it's just a mineral only. So you can definitely play that sort of early Hydralisk style. You can also take a natural and get 4 base, and then you basically win by default because you have the other main if the game goes on long enough. So really, offensive or defensive Zerg can both excel on this map. But Protoss, if they can get going, they easily get the next base, like base number 3 leads to 4, which leads to 5, and so on.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that one. Like that third is not that far away from a fourth. You know, it's also kind of helps hold the center, so you can take the other center base if you really want to as well. It's going to be interesting. There's the other good thing about this map is, you know, those high ground mains are very exposed to drop play.
Exactly, yeah.
And as we've seen, Razz loves his drop play, so he's definitely looking to disrupt, definitely looking to, you know, give Fengzi a pretty difficult time with the harass, right? It's definitely a staple of his play. He likes to go for that storm drop harass, likes DT drops, likes zealot drops, just any kind of pressure he can use to really distract his opponent. He loves it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wonder what we're gonna see as soon as the players are ready. Because, like, on this map, it's so easy to sneak a DT into either main, you know? You just can't cover all the airspace around it.
Yeah, it absolutely is, man. Well, that being said, I think our players are just about ready here, folks. Looks like, obviously, game 1, it's going to be Razz facing off against the Chinese Zerg Fengzi on Power Bond. And yeah, we're pretty excited to get this one going here.
So this map was used on the ladder a few seasons ago, but it's never been used in ASL, right? So, or Korean sponsor matches. So we don't actually know what, like, what the racial balance or what the meta strategies are on this map on the highest level.
Yeah, you're right about that, but you know, everybody's at least played it a little bit on ladder, so you know, it's not like a map like I don't know, Odyssey, where you know, there's a chance that, you know, neither player has really spent, you know, much time on it if they haven't had to practice for it for another tournament or something like that. So at least they'll both be a little familiar with it here.
Yeah, this map has gotten a lot of play. It's just I find it interesting that we can't actually say which, if either, race this map favors. You know, we can speculate and so on.
Yeah, makes it pretty interesting though.
Yeah, we got a pylon, and then okay, he goes back with it, which seems to suggest either gateway first, or he's just gonna go like Nexus first and risk it.
So me knowing Razz, he is not a fan of Nexus first. He loves this, just the straight 9-gate opener. It is his go-to build, which it's funny we haven't seen him do it yet today, but he loves 9-gate openers versus Zerg. And honestly, I mean, he just finds damage. It's really his best opener, in my opinion, in this
there you go.
matchup.
Gateway on a 9, which of course is a more aggressive version of the normal 10-gate.
Now this is going to be a 9-pool out of Fengzi, though. Fengzi loves his 9-pool openers. He has showed it at previous seasons of BSL that he, you know, really has the Zergling control needed to make this a very successful opener for himself. So this could be tough for Razz.
Yeah, 9-pool no gas is good against gateway expansion. You can still counterattack a bit. You can still force the Protoss into an awkward position where you have to like make cannons before the Nexus and stuff. But you're not hurting your own economy as much as if you go 9-pool speed. And he is going to scout this now with his Overlord. Luckily scouting first, so he knows what's happening.
He'll likely put down a Forge, and just try to hold the natural. I think it's usually his style once he's recognizes that this is a 9 pool. And good, good hatchery timing at the natural there from Fengzi. Razz not quite able to delay it. And here we go. 6 lings out from Fengzi. Razz trying to draw some attention with that probe. Not quite able to do so. Actually, will pull the probe into the main for some additional scouting here. And looks like Forge is done. Razz not going to go for a cannon. I think he just wants to get the wall just to help kind of defend early with the Zealot.
Ling's coming in.
Ling's coming in here. Pick off the
slow
probe.
lings.
Yeah, 3 slow lings. I mean, this early, this is quite difficult to deal with. Razz
if
needs
speed lings, the game would be over right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Razz got to get a probe to that natural here. Zealot in the main. We'll try to defend a little bit here. Nexus going to go down. But yeah, the damage is already kind of being done here from Fengzi.
Yeah, even if he doesn't get any probes, it's still great.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing all of the probes at the north quadrant of the mineral line in the main here, right? This is not efficient mining going on here in the main for Razz. Even though he's got the probe count, I mean, he hasn't really lost many probes yet. It's just, it's really kind of a difficult spot to be in still. Okay, 1 ling does fall. I mean, that Zealot is full HP. It's not going to be dying anytime soon here. And at least with now, Razz has 2 Zealots in his wall off and a cannon started. So, I mean, there's not really a ton more harass that can be done here. And actually, we're seeing core before cannon. Yeah. I love it from Razz. He's just recognized the situation with his scouting probe, knows that there's not any more heavy ling pressure in here, so he's not going to allow that cannon to delay his tech at all. Just saying, I'm not afraid of anything that you're putting out at the moment.
And that's a great way to get back into this game, because he knew his opponent didn't go speed first. And it's still a little bit of a risk, because like Zerg could bag a few larvae and then make like 10 links. And actually potentially kill you, but you have to take a risk to get back. You have to try to read your opponent and read his intentions, really, which he's successfully doing right now.
Yeah, this was a great read out of Razz here. Looks like the core is up for Razz. Likely going to be putting down that Stargate like he normally does. I mean, that's one thing I gotta say about Razz today is like his Stargate timings have really been on point.
Yeah.
We've seen these Corsairs just find damage early on, which is not always easy to do, especially against these Chinese Zergs.
And in this game, it's certainly looking like he's going to get an overload or two, because the Stargate started before the lair was even finished. Because he skipped that cannon and went core first.
3 Zealot move out here from Razz. There is, it looks like, at least 9-10 lings already out, though, from Fengzi. No sunken, but I don't think he needs it. I think Razz is just trying to put on pressure to force Zerglings to be made. And yep, 2 more Zerglings will finish up here.
And this is also when you would see a bunch of Hydralisks, if that sort of thing were coming. So he knows that that's not happening right now.
That is a lot of Zerglings, though.
Yeah, he needs a second cannon, actually, to not die to the counterattacker.
Yeah, he's going to need to full wall this. There's no Zealots left at the natural either, so this is a completely exposed wall with quite a few speedlings here from Fengzi. And I think Fengzi just going to go for the kill.
And he started the cannon a little late. When the last Zealot died, that's when he started the cannon. But he really needed to start it before then, and he needs to plug that wall again.
Yeah, he definitely needs to plug the wall here. I mean, you might as well just pull all of your probes at this point. You gotta live. You can't let the Zergling timing kill you off here. And Fengzi just targeting the right probes, trying to create an opening here. Actually, just targeting down probes, but he gets quite a few for his efforts.
Pretty good play by both players. Only thing he could have done better is start the second cannon faster, but really good blocking and good by Fengzi to just go for the probes.
Corsair's finished up, but so is the Spire. I think we're seeing Muta out of Fengzi here, but who knows? I mean, maybe that could be Scourge, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, drones and Scourge, got it.
Okay, so
but yeah, it could have been a Muta all-in, for sure, it could have been.
Yeah, I was just looking at that natural mineral line. Doesn't have a pylon next to it for Razz, and you know, it could be a little exposed. Drone count is very good now from Fengzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After you kill all the zealots like that, and you put your opponent on the back foot, you can just make drones for free. That's what he's doing. So it's really like a 3-hatch Scourge into 5-hatch mass Hydra, probably, and it's going to be so difficult to ever take that third for Razz.
Yeah, I mean, there's likely going to be just a big contain at some point here from Fengzi. Fengzi's still even confident enough to continue droning here.
He could even take a 4th if he wanted to. That's how dominant he is.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he should probably think about it. There's, you know, only 2 gas out of the 3 bases. That's the one disadvantage about taking that mineral only on this map is, you know, it doesn't have the best transition possible. Templar Archives finishing up here for Razz in the main. Hydra's now on the field for Fengzi.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to take a 4th. I mean, he has a lot of options now, and it looks like he's going to go for the Hydra-esque non-stop fighting style, right? But he could also have gone for Lurker aspect, and then take a 4th behind it, because you're totally safe until there's an Observer, right? If you do that. Could also do a Lurker contain, although he did take the mineral only, which weakens that somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get some kind of a trade done with the Hydras here. I think you might be onto something. This is likely going to be just like non-stop Hydra pressure. He knows that, you know, he's at least done some eco damage to Razz, and, you know, as long as he micros the Hydra pretty well, he should be able to get fairly good trades.
We got a sneaky boy here coming out, and this could counterattack while the Hydralisks attack on the front. However, there are only 2 photon cannons and no High Templar, so I don't know, dude.
DT gonna get caught, it looks like. It's right in the center.
DT just dies. That's rough.
DT. Yeah, I would have liked Razz to pick a different pathway with that instead of just going straight to the natural, but big Hydra timing coming in here from Fengzi. I don't think he's gonna commit into the wall. He wants to probably just get a free gateway and a free
Forge, yeah.
Forge. But actually, I say that, and he's moving in here, gets a little bit of damage on that first cannon. Actually takes down the cannon, takes down the second cannon, but Storm goes down, weakens quite a few of these Hydras here. We're just about at a second Storm as well.
But there are no cannons left. We can tell by the way Fengzi's moving here, like his body language, so to speak, that he doesn't feel that he has to kill his opponent here. He's just like, oh, well, you don't have anything, so don't mind if I do, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, wow, yeah, Storm's not up. It's only 2 cannons, you know? So
he even made more drones behind it.
Yeah,
and take a 4th.
He's going to get that full saturation in the main. 4th is on the way. And
losing a Templar even.
Ooh, yeah, that's a little tough. That's a little rough here for Razz. I mean, he's going to need some type of counter drop play or something to get himself back into this one.
Yeah, Fengzi's certainly choosing a good style for the map, but also executing it. Like, that ambush on the Zealots, you know Protoss wants to scout with that timing, because he could be doing like a Hydra all-in. And he prepared for that and caught the Zealots hard and then counterattacked. That was a really good move by him, and he's just run away with this game since that.
Yeah, he absolutely has. Massive Hydra count in the center of the map. 4th base now up for Fengzi. Likely he'll be going for that 3rd gas here pretty soon. Another macro hatch as well from Fengzi. That should bring the hatchery count up to 7.
Interestingly enough, he's got a lot of his units at home and not on the front. Normally you're on the front, like baiting storms, sniping units, preventing the 3rd. But he's probably thinking, I'm so far ahead, the only way I can lose is to like a drop or something. So he puts a lot of stuff at home, and we can see him dealing with the Corsair harassment very well also. Going for that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate tell. He's got the single group of Hydras out front to kind of do that harass, right? Pick off stray Templar if they wander too far out. You know, do this little bit of harass on a pylon. He actually gets the pylon, even. But the majority of his units are back at home waiting for drops, waiting for DT counters, you know, waiting to pick off these Corsairs, as we know, which I think is a pretty nice call here.
He has so many drones. Yikes. Yeah, that's why he's not aggressive anymore as much. I mean, he's got 4 full bases, really. How many Evo chambers does he have? Like 2?
Yeah,
okay, so he only has 1. Okay, alright. But still.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, he's really a macro monster. This game.
He could have a second one right now. I feel like, you know. Oh shoot. The one thing I gotta say is I think maybe his main's a little exposed, right? I'm not seeing any Overlord spread above the main. I'm not seeing any Hydras in the main. So a counter DT drop in the main would do significant damage, but I mean, as I say that,
slow shuttle could hit.
Yeah, the classic slow shuttle, exactly. Razz says, this is the moment. I'm gonna move out. Oh, is this a lurker drop maybe?
Or is it just for scouting? I mean, it's a drop. Oh, the counter attack
no. Huge lurker drop. Look at the kills on these two lurkers. 12 kills on that one.
While he keeps the opponent busy, he sees Protoss move south, that's when he drops, you know? You know he's got other stuff to do at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, very, very well done there, honestly,
and in
from
the main
Fengzi. Oh no, this is gonna do so much damage. It is at least reacted to from Razz, but still, a few more probes will fall. Oh
and
no,
the final
oh no.
desperation attack. But the lurkers are already set up quite well.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, there's just so many Hydras. Obs being killed off here. Now there's definitely no chance of pressure from Razz. Looks like a couple storms going to go down, but GG is called there. And Fengzi going to be taking game number 1 there against Razz.
Wow, that was a great game by Fengzi.
Yeah, it was. I mean, from the start, the 3-ling pressure through the wall in the main, you know, delaying that natural. I mean, the Hydra pressure initially at the front as well. Like, Corsair defense was great from him. He, I mean, really was never in a bad spot, it felt like, that game.
In control the whole time. Now, you might think like, yeah, okay, but how impressive is it really when he got the 3 links in for free? You know, he got that hand down. But the thing is, like, great players make good players look weak. It just makes them, like, it's hard to explain, but, like, if you play a good player, you just make more mistakes, it feels like. Like, you just feel like you're not as good.
It's true. I mean, just that constant pressure, right? You can't even look away for a second. You can't make a mistake against someone the level of Fengzi, because they just will punish you for it, you know? It's just expected. It's like DeWalt, you know, watching DeWalt play. It looks like he just accidentally kills his opponent.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's just like, oh, you weren't there, you know, like it was kind of like when we watched Fengzi pressure in with the initial Hydras at the natural. He's like, oh, your storm's not ready yet, you know, like okay, well, when that happens, I attack and I kill you, you know. It's
yeah, a funny thing happens where somebody will watch even the best players, like let's say Nada versus like Savior back in the day, and they'll be like, you know, they don't look that good. I think I could do that. But then, when that guy actually plays them, he doesn't look that good either. Like, that's just how it goes.
That's StarCraft, man. At the highest levels, it's just, I mean, perfected at this point. It's so difficult to really, you know, hang in there with some of these top players. I mean, they just set themselves apart in so many different ways.
Yeah, and in fact, the Chinese players, they've talked a lot about disrupting the rhythm of your opponent, which sounds to me like they're thinking about, like, okay, where is he busy right now? What is he focusing on? Can I, like, sneak these links in right now? Can I do this lurker drop now when he's looking somewhere else? And that stuff is really great at making players look weak, you know? And to an outsider, it looks like he just messed up and you just got a free win.
Yep. So with that, looks like map pick for Razz will be Odyssey. Odyssey, a map we haven't seen a ton of so far, I gotta say, this season of BSL. We've been seeing a lot of Vermeer picks, a lot of Circuit Breaker picks, so this is one of the few Odyssey picks so far that I've seen. But good map selection here for Razz. Definitely a map he's practiced quite a bit and is pretty comfortable on. It plays to his style, I'd say. But yeah, here we go, folks. Looks like both of our players are ready. So it's going to be Razz going up against Fengzi on Odyssey.
Ah, dude, I'm gonna miss this map since it's no longer in ASL and it's never gonna be on ladder, because there are so many possibilities people haven't explored yet on this. Like, you could go 1 gate gas, Corsair Reaver, take your island first. You could, like, Shine, try to take the opponent's base and make Sunken Spore at it. Like, there's so much you could do in this map.
Tried to take the opponent's base and go something spore at it? That's crazy.
did.
I haven't seen that. Shoot, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I don't remember which game, but like, yeah, this is an interesting map. Now, Razz is the one who picked it. Luckily for Fengzi, he is using Zerg, which means that a weird map is like not as punishing for him as it is for another race, you know. But I want to see what Razz has planned there, and he goes for the expansion. So he's probably gonna force expand. Might do a cannon rush again.
Yeah, once they send the probe out like that, it's likely forge and not a gateway opener, which I think is fine here, right? It's not Razz's style at all, but it is a good map to just sit on 3 bases as well for Protoss, right? You get the free base inside the main. You already have the second gas inside the main. So, I mean, you know, whenever you're able to secure so much Vespian gas at such an early point in the game, there are some bizarre timings that Protoss can hit in this matchup.
Yeah, even if you don't do anything crazy, like, you know, one base Reaver take out or anything like that, like, this map still gives you a lot, even if you play standard, because you get, by ground at least, kind of a free third base, and then that extra 1000 gas geyser too. It gives you so much momentum in the mid game to take your 4th. And if you look at the Zerg, how is he going to take a 4th? Like, that's going to be when you're the strongest as Protoss. You can have 2 forge, even 3 going in the mid game because of that extra gas. You're going to have more tempo than usual. You can get shuttle speed and do earlier storm drops.
Yeah, very true. Oh, a little bit of damage being done on that probe, but at least he's kind of delaying this natural. Once again, it is a 9 pool out of Fengzi, so showing his cards here. He's very comfortable with this build. As I mentioned, yeah, I feel like he just does it every time, honestly.
Oh, he just got it.
All right,
So
Hedrick
no
goes
delay
down.
there.
No links. He made drones.
Oh, that is such a confident move, dude. Like, you got this probe in your face, and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna, you know, not respect this at all.
Oh, I guess he also must know that it's a forge opener, and because of the probe timing, and not
He does expect that,
gateway.
yeah. I mean, he would have died to a 2-gate, but it wasn't a 2-gate. So, you know, he even made a cannon because he saw the pool, and then Fangsy just like, yeah, but I'm not actually gonna make things. So he made this cannon for no reason.
Yeah, still, Razz does have that gateway started at least. We'll be able to get to that Corsair tech, I'm assuming, as per usual. Another scouting probe out on the map for Razz as well. Fengzi taking his gas inside the main. I think with this gas timing, it's likely not going to be Spire first. I feel like Fengzi can just do, you know, like a 973 pressure, and it would be a pretty good, you know, choice given this scenario.
Yeah, it's looking like it, given his 3rd base too. If you were going Spire, wouldn't you take the 12 o'clock? Right?
Right, exactly. It would be more protected, whereas by taking mid-right, your rally as Zerg is a little closer to your opponent, so you could get Hydralisk to their base faster, which is
We do have a
always
lair
good.
now going up. There's still a lot he could do, but you know, he might just be thinking, I'm going to take this base now while I can, while it's easy, and then I can always take 12 later, because it's a free base. That might be what he's thinking too.
I think that's honestly a great decision here. Looks like Fengzi just playing really confident, right? Like he's still going that layer play, doesn't need to go for any type of like a Hydra timing. At the same time, Razz able to scout that out, should be able to react accordingly, and we're seeing that patented Razz Zealot pressure moving out on the map now.
Yeah, and right now he doesn't need it to scout, but he's actually forcing Zerglings. Because Fengzi this game, apart from 2 Zerglings, has only made drones and overlords. And that's going to have to change now with the Zealot coming across the map.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's made only drones, and I mean, look at the supply, alright? He's pretty much caught up in supply to Razz. Not something you normally see in this matchup here.
Yeah, I mean,
Still,
the mind game to not make links, forcing the cannon, it's really getting him ahead here.
ooh, drone almost falling there from
Oh, he
Fengzi.
loses
And
it.
actually, he does lose it. He pulled it back around, and yeah, Razz reacted fairly well there. Might go for a second drone kill. Actually, just gonna find some connects onto these Zerglings. Good micro.
Yeah, the mineral feed's actually not close enough to the wall to give a good spot there.
This Stargate timing is great from Razz, but oh no, he's actually supply
He's
blocked.
side blocked, dude. He can't do it.
Oh no.
There's a case to be made for destroying a... Oh yeah, he actually canceled a probe, and he's making a Corsair now.
Okay. Ooh, wall is not tight, though. He could actually just walk through there, but Fengzi opting not to. Yeah, that supply block really going to hurt Razz here, looks like. First Corsair is out. I mean, that is such a fast... There would have been a really fast Corsair time.
It's still really fast, but it would have been even faster, yeah. But he should get at least one Overlord if he finds one here. Although the Overlords are hidden in unpredictable spots.
Yeah, good movement here from Fengzi. Pulled those back fairly quickly. And I actually don't think Razz will be able to get one given this position. Fengzi moving up to the 5 hatcheries, getting his Evo chamber, getting the Hydroden as well as gas at the natural. So things looking quite good here for Fengzi once again.
Yeah, and he couldn't find an Overlord in time. So I think he's going to lose to 0. That's great for him.
Yeah, that's very, very good for him. Drone count also looking phenomenal so far here. Pretty much full saturation at the middle of the 3rd. Probe count looking pretty good for Razz as well. Seeing with the Corsair able to see all that, realizing, there is no like vulnerability. I would love it if he would just take his 3rd base right now, but I don't think he's going to do it. He really likes just 2-base Corsair Zealot openers into Templar. It's just
2-base aggression on this map. It is okay because once you get an Archon, you can actually open up 12. And then you have really 3 angles of attack. You got the natural, the 3rd, and the 4th. And that extra gas can help you too. Of course, when you're attacking on 2-base. We've got the speed lots coming out now, and no Sunkens, but Fengzi does see it. So he should be ready for it.
Yeah, great scouting here. It's not many Zealots, looks like 6, I think. There's not many Hydra at this 3rd, though, and it is very close. That's the one issue with taking such 3rd base so close to your opponent. So yeah, Zealots are going to get on this base momentarily here. It's going to really force a nice drone pull out of Fengzi, but yeah, it looks like more Hydras rallying in from the natural. Razz doing a good job targeting down drones, though.
Yeah, he could have run with those drones. He didn't need them to fight anymore. So he could have lost way fewer there.
So good pickup from Razz, but still, we're looking at the supplies now, and Fengzi pulling ahead in supply.
I actually think that was a bait by Fengzi even. He made it look vulnerable, and then... Oh, we got a DT here, actually, hold on, thought. Do we have Overlord speed? Because if not, this could actually kill. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So this is a dangerous pre-storm timing here after you kill all the Zealots like that.
Yeah, DT might be able to get some harassing, but once again, this is only a single cannon so far at the natural. And yeah, it looks like Fengzi going to dive on top of it here. DT Corsair moving into the 3rd, but Razz just not quite prepared with the amount of cannons he needs, and it looks like Templar will fall, wall falls, and GG is called there from Razz. Fengzi with just another very strong Hydra timing early on there and catching Razz with his pants down.
Fengzi did so many small little low-risk things to get ahead that game, except for just, making the hatch with no links. That was a little bit risky. But other than that, it was like, he didn't make Zerlings from the pool, so Protoss made a cannon, he got ahead. He made himself look weak at the 3rd, and then as soon as Protoss showed up, he just like, no, actually I have all these units, and now you die. And then that created this counterattack opportunity, because Protoss doesn't have anything anymore.
Yeah, absolutely did. I mean, it was just very well played in general out of Fengzi, as expected. Yeah, and with that, Fengzi going to be the champion of Group G. Razz will drop down to the last chance match, but obviously before that, our next match here going to be Zetty going up against Hejek in a best-of-3 Zerg vs. Zerg. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting between these two. Polish Zerg Hejek and obviously the Peruvian Zerg Zetty could be, a pretty good match for our elimination match, and then the winner going to face off against Razz after that. But yeah, folks, I think we're going to cut to a quick break here. So make sure you guys stay tuned here, and we will be back shortly with more BSL action. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BSL16 Group G. I'm Machine, and joining me right now is vOddy. What's up, vOddy?
Hey, yeah, unexpected to be here. Razz had to go play a game, so needed a substitute. But I thought I was just gonna watch. Still get to watch it, I guess. But yeah.
Still get to watch it, but we get to pick your brain at the same time, man. But yeah, I'm glad I get to do so, because up next here we have Zetty facing off against Hejek in the elimination match for ZVZ. And I think both our players are ready to go here, vOddy. So yeah, let's just jump into the game here in a second. It's going to be Zetty going up against Hejek, ZVZ, Polish Zerg Hejek, and a Peruvian Zerg Zetty. Both these players pretty strong former BSL competitors. And yeah, looks like map number 1 going to be Power Bond here. So yeah, both our players are set. Let's jump into game number 1.
Okay, I can never predict what style a Zerg will use in ZVZ from his other matchups, because ZVZ is so different.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
this
some...
map, though, this map really helps that, some Zerg players like to sneak in the Mutalisks to pick off drones. And this is a great map for that, actually, because you're not on a corner. You have so much airspace.
Yeah, so much vulnerability, right? Like, there's just so many different pathways, entrances to go from, into the main bases and get on top of that mineral line. So, yeah, very, very good call out here. I think it's a map that really favors a lot of one base, like straight layer play because of that, like you're saying. I would almost expect to see at least one of the players go 9-pool layer here for certain. I would love to see an overgas layer. I think it's a very highly underrated ZVZ build, and is a massive counter to 9-pool layer.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
why is that such a good build against 9-pool layer, you think?
Basically, the entire thing about the build is you just have more gas earlier on. So, it really equates to muta count, which is, and if you go 9-pool, a lot of the times, at least early on, you're only mining with just 2 drones on gas in the main. And although the muta timing is quite strong and quite early, you just will never have the same muta count that like an overgas will.
Got it, yeah. We do see a 12-pool though from both players, interestingly. But yeah, I mean, I agree, going back to what we were saying earlier, that the sort of things that a 1-base Zerg has to do to come back to a 2-base Zerg, that all gets better on this map.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah, I think so. But as we know, this
mirror now.
Yeah, it should be a 12-pool mirror. Likely going to be expansion for both players. We're seeing Hejek put down his expansion first. Zetty's a little delayed. I think that was a mistake.
He's got 2 more control. I mean, 2 more food also. Did he maybe like not cut the drones? Like some people go, 12, 11, 10, right? I'm not sure he did that. He might have snuck in an extra drone.
I think it was the supply from not making the hatchery, and he made an additional drone because he gets that first scout off, right?
Yeah,
he knows that this is 12 pool, so yeah.
And we can actually count the drones even to see they're doing the same thing.
It's a big advantage in this matchup to get first scout and to have the mirror builds. I mean, it only 1 drone, right? It doesn't sound like much, but it makes such an impact in this matchup.
Oh, 1 drone is a big deal, because eventually that 1 drone is going to turn into 2 extra Zerglings. And if we have the same amount of Zerglings, then I can counterattack you with my extra 2,
Yep. 4 Lings moving out from Zetty. I'm a little surprised at this move out.
Yeah, he feels that he has to scout, I suppose. No, I mean, he has the overrun in the base, so
that's why I'm so shocked.
He's attacking now. He's just hoping his opponent greeted, and he wants to punish.
I guess. I mean, he clearly sees he's outnumbered. It looks like at least he did back up, right?
He did, yeah.
Maybe it's to throw Hejek off?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Because he saw it was coming out of the hatchery, so he knows his opponent didn't make drones, right?
Right.
But sometimes you want to fake being more aggressive than you're going to be, Just scare your opponent.
Yeah, just because you don't want them to get away with any type of an early drone advantage, right? So at the moment, Zetty, should still have that drone lead. We're seeing it in his gas, actually. He's up by a whole 100 gas already. Which
Hejek only has 2 on gas. Zetty has 3.
Yeah, it's more common to have 2 on gas with a 12 pool opener. So honestly, it's just Hejek playing the build accordingly, and Zetty using the early scouting to his advantage.
Yep.
So Spire down, just about a 200 gas lead here for Zetty. I'd really like to see Zetty pull his overlords back. There's just no reason to continue to scout once you see the Spire timing. And in fact, it can lose you the game if you end up losing, overlords early on.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what you're seeing is like basically, is he banking Larva for Mutalist Scourge, or is he making links? But at some point, you have to give that up so that you don't lose your Overlord, for sure. And it looks like he's pulling his Overlords back now, whereas Hejek still has an Overlord inside his base. 2, in fact.
Both these players with non-stop Zergling production. I'm a little surprised no one's trying to sneak like a single drone in. Obviously, we know Zetty has that drone lead on gas, but it might not make a difference, right, if it never gets to mutaplay.
Yeah, so the big Zergling fight here. Good positioning to start with for Zetty.
Yeah,
but
very
now
good
Hejek's getting
positioning.
the arc.
Yeah, Hejek actually somehow has a better arc, and it looks like
Just crushes
Hejek
it.
going to come out ahead here.
There were 4 Zerglings not joining the fight. Oh. Zetty just not ready for that, even though I think he saw it coming with Overlord. He's gonna go for a desperate counterattack now, but there's just way more for Hejek.
Yeah, way too many Zerglings here. Immediately getting on top of that Spire of Zetty, and suddenly all that Vespian gas not going to be put to any use here. I think that was a little bit of a blunder from Zetty to put that drone on gas instead of minerals, and it's really showing here.
Wow.
Wow, GG is called there. Zetty actually falling in game 1, with a leading position. Anytime ZVZ you're able to get that early scout off, you can really make that work to your advantage. I really think the only mistake was just putting the extra drone on gas and not on minerals in the main.
I think the Zergling attack was a good way to capitalize on that, because he saw that Zetty had 3 on gas, which means he has a lot of gas and not a lot of minerals. He wants to bank up Larva to make Mutalisks, because you don't let him do that if you spam Zerglings, right? So you don't let him use his advantage. Now, was he supposed to straight up die? Maybe not, but it was still a great play from Hejek.
Yeah, it absolutely was a great play from Hejek there, and that should give Hejek here a little, early game 1. With that, Zetty will at least get map choice for game number 2. So I'm kind of interested to see what map he might pick for like a ZVZ here, given what he just saw from Hejek in game number 1. Both players going for that, pretty standard 12-pool expansion opener. I think Sylphid is a great map if you're just gung-ho that you really like to go 12-pool expo in ZVZ. So might be a choice here that we see out of Zetty, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. ZVZ, man, it can be over in a flash like that. It really just takes, one small mistake and suddenly you lose your entire worker line. And yeah, it is going to be Sylphid here. So
It seems like Hejek banned Butter, apparently, so he didn't want to play on that, interestingly.
I agree. I hate that map for ZVZ. Every time I, try to go for something kind of middle of the road or standard, yeah, I get 12 hatched. I can't stand being 12 hatched ZVZ. It's just the worst feeling.
Yeah, the thing about long rush distances is that 12 hatch starts holding its own against openings it would normally die to. And Hedrick apparently doesn't want to deal with that. Like on Sylphid, for example, a 12 hatch doesn't really have any wiggle room. I mean, it's going to die to a lot of stuff because you can reach the base so quickly. On Butter, not so much.
Exactly, like the rush distances natural to natural are just so short on this map that you're not going to see a lot of like 12 hatches here. You do see a lot of 12 pool expos here though, given what we've seen so far today, I would assume at least one of these players is going to be going 12 pool expo in this match. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see here. I believe both of our players are ready in the lobby. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, players aren't quite ready yet, so. Yeah, but Sylphid still pretty good map for the matchup. That, you know, very similar to the last map. There, the mains aren't quite in the corners, so there's a lot of harass potential with mutas. You know, maybe not quite as good as it is on Power Bond.
Yeah, but still more than like Fighting Spirit or something.
Yeah, still exactly, still more than Fighting Spirit or like Circuit Breakers or something like that. But yeah, all right, folks. Looks like our players are ready now. It's going to be Zetty going up against Hejek in a ZVZ on Sylphid. Let's jump into the match.
Okay, so these positions, they do expose Zetty's main, because he's at the left. And Hejek, of course, his main is not as exposed. Not only because of the base itself with the airspace being not the same, but you can see that if they just move to the other player, then of course Zetty's main is going to be reached first.
Yeah, I mean, Zetty's definitely got the advantage of that first scout, though. Once again, it's a pretty big deal in this matchup.
That's probably a much bigger deal, actually, and that he is getting the first scout. It just lets you see, you know, if your opponent is banking Larva or not, right?
Right.
For the mutinous timing.
I mean, Expo timing as well. You can also see, I guess, the Zergling move out positioning, right? You can see when Lings are leaving the natural or not. So,
9 pool for Hejek. So might be seeing some 1-base tech, possibly.
I like 9 pool here. I think 9 pool.
Overpool for Zetty? Is that it?
I guess so. Unless that's a 9 pool. Yeah, it is an overpool. Overpool, not really a build ZVZ.
It's not, okay.
Yeah, it's really not, unfortunately. There's just no great advantage to it, honestly. The gas of Hedrick's going to be a little further ahead here. He's going to have more Lings.
Yeah, right. Because you get the gas later when you overpool. So you get more minerals, but do you get enough minerals to expand, you know? Like, does it actually matter that you're floating on minerals?
No, and in fact, if you try to go overpool expand versus something like a 12 pool expand, the 12 pool expand will just run you over.
Right. So all he's getting here is more minerals, really, which, but not enough for it to matter. Like, he's not hitting a breakpoint.
Right, exactly. It's not enough to really afford an expansion. It's just this awkward position where you just have slightly more minerals and you can't do anything with them.
That's why you go over gas, right? If you want to do that sort of build.
Yeah, exactly. Over gas is definitely a strong opener here. That being said, Zetty will have the faster layer. It looks like. So
yeah, he didn't go speed. Did Hejek go speed first?
I think he did.
Yeah, he must have
first. So
okay.
Yeah, 9 pool speed is pretty good here. You know, obviously this is not going to be an expansion from Zetty, so maybe this is like the one scenario where overpool could be all right. I mean, he will have the faster layer. He will have the extra gas, being that he has 3 on gas. So as long as Zetty just survives and gets to Spire here, I guess this is a pretty strong position.
And the issue I'm seeing for Hejek is that if he doesn't break, doesn't get in, his speed doesn't matter. I mean, Slowlings, if they can just stand there, they're gonna do fine against Speedlings.
Yeah, I mean, normally as Zerg, if you're going for like Speedlings, you know, with something like a 12 pool Expo, at least like your fallback is your tech is delayed, but you have an expansion.
You have the expansion, exactly, and Speedlings help with that, because as soon as he leaves his base, the speed matters. But here, if it's 1 base versus 1 base, the only way Hejek could use his speed is to expand, but his build order doesn't really allow for that. Although it could come into play later, but at that point, Zetty could get his own Ling speed. You know, by the time Hejek is ready to expand.
We're seeing an adjustment from Hejek, 3 on gas in the main now, so trying to catch up a little bit in that gas tech. As you've mentioned, the Spire definitely much further behind here for Hejek, and the other thing I don't like is this second Overlord timing going into the main from Hejek. It's not going to be able to do much. Okay, he is pulling it back here.
Yeah. And this is why Zetty chose Overpool. He's doing a macro hatch in the main, so that's what he's using his minerals for. Skipping speed plus Overpool gave him enough money to do a macro hatch.
I mean, he doesn't have the mineral income. It's going to be really awkward here. I'm not going to lie.
He's going to have to do a lot of Scourge, really, right? In addition to minerals.
Yeah, I guess so. I really am just not used to seeing Overpool much ZVZ opener, so I mean, he will at least have the faster second hatchery. He will have, you know, at least a larva timing, let's call it, right?
Yeah,
Like he'll
right.
have a slight larva advantage at one point here. Spire is up. First 3 mutas underway here for Zetty. So maybe, yeah, with this extra additional larva, there might be an opportunity here.
He could do like a Ling mute, two-prong attack where he flies mutas into the main and links on the front, stuff like that.
Spire just about to complete here for Hejek. Still not, you know, drone count in the main seems pretty similar for both players, actually. Really,
Yeah.
Zetty's big advantage here is just these faster muta, and actually looks like he's going to move out, try to pick off some of these Zerglings. Zerglings...
Really, he can kill here is huge, because remember, he has the larva advantage. So, he could even, I mean, if he does enough damage here, he could even win the game with his own Zerglings.
Yeah, I guess so. Obviously, a lot of these Lings already bruised. 3 muta versus 3 muta, though. I mean,
Yeah,
both,
that wants to kill right now, apparently.
it looks like he's doing a pretty good job as well. Ling's getting on top of all the other Zerglings.
Oh, this, yeah, massive damage.
This is just going to be big damage here from Zetty. Wow.
Zetty's play here was a lot more thought out than it might appear at first glance, because everything he did, he was like designed for this one move, right? This was his timing. It was like he was gonna get faster Mutalisks, and then followed by a larva advantage.
Yeah.
And the timing really worked. It really did.
It definitely did. I mean, he could maybe even follow up with another Ling timing at this point, you know?
Oh, he should definitely keep the pressure on, you know. Also, having these 2 locations to defend, it's just not possible. Like, you can threaten to attack at one place, go to the other. Especially with a Zerling disadvantage. We can see Hejek making drones desperately try to come back, but if Zetty just keeps attacking, there's no way he can survive.
Yeah, there's just absolutely no way. We're seeing Zetty scout in with another additional Zergling, trying to get an eye on the Muta location here. Zetty moving into the natural, actually just deciding to beeline it for the Mutalisk of Hejek. But good Scourge count, makes some good connects there for Hejek. Hejek doing what he can to try to survive here, but the Muta count is just overwhelming at this point from Zetty. And that will actually tie up our series 1-1 between Hejek and Zetty there. So very well played.
Very unstandard builder, but
yeah,
it was thought out. He had a reason for doing it, and in this game it worked. So you know, I'm not going to disparage that.
Exactly. I feel bad. I was being like hyper critical about the overpool, and it ended up being exactly what you needed to do to get the job done, right? Like, I mean, the overpool was definitely great, given that it was a 9-pool speed opener. You know, there was no opportunity really for Hejek to get any kind of pressure into the main, given, you know, their positions. And yeah, he just got the faster Spire, faster Muta count, and really, I mean, just kind of hit Hejek in multiple places at the same time, you know, with the Ling speed timing, the Mutas at the same time. And it seemed, you know, he had a pretty well designed timing there, it felt like.
Now, if the Zerlings had been pulled back in time, because they were a bit late, you know, they took a few hits from the Mutalisks on the way back, then it wouldn't have gone the same. I mean, he would still have had a timing advantage with the earlier hatchery, but it wouldn't have been quite that dramatic, I think. So I think it was still a playable position if he had played perfectly. Hejek, that is.
Yeah. If he was able to pull those Lings back, not soak up any extra damage there, because the Zergling count was fairly even though the trade did not end up being. And it looks like our map for game number 3 here, folks, is going to end up being Odyssey.
Okay.
Another, you know, pretty safe standard 2-player map. It'd be interesting to see if maybe we even get to a 3-base versus 3-base ZVZ on this map.
I was just thinking, like, we don't have any players like that right now, but there used to be a player called Great who would always go 3-hatch macro ZVZ, and he would just wreck on this map, let me tell you. I mean, you get another gas for free, so Hide is already good, and then you get a 3rd expansion that you can actually take. Now, that's a style most people don't practice, you know, macro 3H Hive ZVZ, so we're probably not going to see it. I'm just saying, this is the map to do it, if you can play it.
It would be pretty nice. I actually do love seeing that style. But actually, folks, it looks like we are set and ready to go here. It's going to be Zetty going up against Hejek on Odyssey, match number 3. Let's jump into the action.
Okay, now, I mean, one of these players did pick the map, so maybe he's planning something.
Yeah, it was Hejek too,
Yeah.
so maybe he's got that planned out. As you mentioned, good map for kind of an awkward style like that with the third gas in the main. Hydra timings can be quite strong, but I feel like we're overhyping this, and there's a good chance, folks, that we don't see it, and it ends up just being standard,
Yeah.
2 base muta, 1 base muta play.
I mean, I don't think Hydralisks, that's a little too crazy, but like, you could definitely go macro Spire play, at least. It's a good map for that, because that even worked on normal maps back in the day when Great was doing it in ProLeague.
Yeah, you definitely can. I've seen Hydra work on this map as well, the ZVZ. Like, you'd be surprised how many extra Hydra you can build out, like pump out with that extra gas in the main. Also, since you're going to be keeping your Hydras, tucked back, let's say,
Yeah,
into your main
yeah.
for so long, like you can kind of use it to hold a third base mid left, or if you're
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna
Hedrick
go
or something
Hydra,
like that.
this is actually a good map for it, the more I think about it, because the problem with going Hydralisk is that the opposing Zerg, if he's good against that style, he just takes an expansion with the early map control, and then he goes around himself, but he's ahead. But here, you kind of get a 3 third base, so if you're going ground, like, you don't really care about that, right?
Right.
You can go high easily. But anyway, we do have no fast expansions so far.
I think
From
this
what
is
I
a
clear.
12 pool from Hejek. 12 pool expand. So the Expo just now about to go up. But Zetty did a 9 pool opener. We'll have to see if it's going to
Speed
be
or range,
lair
yeah.
or
I mean,
some
lair,
kinda,
sorry.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, we'll have to see what each of these players opts for. And it is lair.
Lair first, okay.
I like
Now,
this. from
this,
Zetty.
if we're gonna see macro, Hive CBC, this is a good position to do it in, because when you go 12 pool expand against 1 base lair with no speed, the only advantage you have is the expansion, so a lot of Zergs will actually go Sunken Spore in this position and spam drones and get a third hatchery. That does happen
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah, it does. It actually does happen quite a bit here. Not a bad map for it. Obviously, all things are possible with that additional gas inside the main. I mean, it just makes for some really funky, strong timing Zerg vs Zerg that you normally never get to see.
Yeah, the only time, well, one of the few times we saw Hive in ZVC, it was yellow against Jaedong in Pro League. And it was a situation like this, not the exact same build orders, but it was like one player fast expanded, the other player teched fast. And so the expanding player, he just made Sunken Spore and made drones, right?
Right. We're actually seeing a pretty strong economy out of Zetty here, I gotta say. Spire already down.
Yeah, making a lot of drones, very interesting. Probably, I mean, he does have that expansion he can take, so...
I almost wonder if I messed up and wasn't paying attention. This might have been an overgas build from Zetty, the more
Okay,
I'm looking
yeah.
at it. Yeah,
More
'cause he
drones
just-
coming out, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think this was, actually. I think this was overgas, which can be quite strong. I wouldn't say it necessarily counters what he's facing here with this expansion play, but it can be quite strong.
Yeah, he's
Drone
going
gonna
for the
take-
inside expo, so he's thinking, I don't need map control to expand like normal. That's why I'm making so many drones, that's why I'm okay setting up my ramp. But if he wants to take this expo, he's got to take it off position for the gas only because of that cannon. Or he's gonna sit there like for an hour doing this.
I mean, the drone needed to be there a while ago. Like, the hatchery already
Yeah,
needed to be
right.
down. This is pretty delayed, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean,
from
he has
Zetty.
the money to have sent that drone earlier, because he's floating as it is anyway, right? So
Yeah,
might as well send it
600.
faster.
Yeah, if he had sent it faster, I think this would have been a brilliant play. But as is, he's just been stacking so much gas. Oh, and only a 25 supply mark as well here is Zetty. So,
Now, Hejek chose not to use the Zerg advantage. I mean, I don't know if he saw the drones coming out, but he made drones himself instead of trying to go for like a Zergling, pre-muta timing. And he's just gonna drone and do spores right now, it seems like.
I think it's fine. I actually think his Spire was in line to defend, though. I'm a little surprised that he decided to cut the eco by getting the spores, getting the evo, and still has like a fairly well-timed Spire, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, his mutas might have just popped in time. You're right. Even without. But this may have been his plan going into this. Like, he picked this map after all. He may have been planning something like this for a while.
Yeah.
And so it can
maybe.
be good to stick to your plan for mental reasons.
So first 3 mutas moving across the map here from Zetty. Might be able to catch an Overlord. If so, this would be a big supply block. And I would say give quite an advantage here to him. 2 mutas coming in, trying to save that Overlord. Will actually do so. So Hejek got to be feeling pretty good. He was able to prevent that.
Yeah, and we see quite similar gas timings, actually. Like, they both got a second gas earlier, but Hejek has the spore colonies, which means he could go for a base trade counterattack style.
Yeah, base trade counterattack style is, I mean, just so strong once those spores are up. Now there's basically no point where Zetty can truly feel comfortable, you know, moving out. He's almost just forced to kind of sit back, get his upgrades, drone up this natural that's finally online, and play from here. But, I mean, still, all things considered, supplies are pretty even, gas count's pretty even, you know, drone count's getting even. It's really just Hejek has the spore advantage.
Right.
We can call it that.
But that's a big deal. Hejek may not go for this or use it, but what he could do, I mean, think about this. There are actually 3 positions of attack. The main, the ramp, and the inside natural. So he could actually split his mutas up into 2 groups and just be like, okay, I'm gonna send half to the natural, then you're gonna go defend that, then I'm gonna clear up the ramp and send links in. Then you go over there, and then I go back to the natural, into the main. Like, because there are no spores and his opponent can't threaten him in the same way, he really could go for that.
Yeah, you got me thinking about that now. He absolutely could. I mean,
and in fact, we see him moving his mutas up now, so he might be setting up for... I don't know what he's doing here, actually. If he's setting up for, like, a counter, or just hunting units defensively.
I think things have been just going so well that he's like, do I need to counter? You know, like, oh wow, 3rd gas being taken in the main from Hedrick.
You know, one thing to consider, when you have these spores, you feel more comfortable droning because, like, the opponent can't come in and just kill your Zerglings with his mutas and then send Zerglings in. So he felt comfortable enough to take a 3rd gas, and that's really gonna put him... I mean, he probably has Mutalisk upgrades on the way too. Okay, here comes the big attack.
Wow.
Snipe some drones.
Only
just
one
go
spore.
for it.
He's just going for it. Only 1 spore in the main, too. So this could be big here from Zetty, but oh man, the spores are so strong.
Hejek just wins right now, dude. Right? Zetty has more. Okay, Scourge coming in, massive connections. For both players.
Massive connections there, actually, from both players. Wow, what a
Quite
game.
good micro from Hejek, actually, right now.
Yeah, good control, and that's going to force Zetty to back off there, but still, like you were saying, I think overall that was better for Hejek. You know, he forced the Zerg to engage into a spore, he got good Scourge connections of his own, and it's going to be Zetty now that's on the back foot.
Zetty feeling like he had to do something, and I mean, I understand that, because Hejek, he took that extra extractor, right? He's got another gas, which in this matchup basically means he has a 3rd base, right? Because you're never going to saturate it anyway. So we kind of have a 3-base Zerg here versus a 2-base.
Yeah, I mean, and gas is just so essential in this matchup. You can never be feeling great about this if you're Zetty. Yeah, we're just not seeing the drone count from Zetty, honestly. 3 drones being pulled off gas at the natural. I mean, drone count in the main is only 6 on minerals, so... And I mean, at the same time, Hejek's had so many drones. I mean, that's a great saturation in the main, pretty decent saturation at the natural, has that 3rd gas, looks to be taking his own 3rd base as well.
He wants to take a 4th gas now. This man is here to macro, dude. Like, I was saying earlier how he could go on the offensive because his opponent doesn't have any defense, any spores, but he can also do this. You know, he can play defensively or offensively, and it looks like he did pick this map to macro, after all.
Yeah, we were seeing it actually even in Hedrick's match against Razz. Like, he seems to be a player who's very comfortable just kind of sitting back, macroing, you know, getting those higher drone counts. I think he's I mean, just look at the insane drone count advantage for Hejek so far. But actually, Hejek might just be going for a timing here. Scourge moving in for both players here, and there's just so many Muta, unfortunately, from Hejek here. And I mean, he's still banking 800 gas at the same time. It's
he may have
nuts.
attacked because he got control blocked. I mean, supply blocked. That might be why he attacked, actually. He thinks that his gas advantage has paid off by now, so it's time to go. And this attack, I mean, it shreked the base, so it was a good choice.
Yeah, this was an amazing choice here. I mean, he can kind of do whatever he wants at this point. He could continue to drone and build up his advantage that way. He could, also just as easily like take his third base, or just spend his gas right now and just go try to kill off Zetty. I think all options are.
Seems like that's what he's going for. He knows he has more gas, and so he just wants to make more units and go kill him. He was thinking about preparing to take the fourth, but he actually doesn't have the minerals to do that. Like, he's actually floating so much gas, he literally can't afford it. And that's a pretty good position to be in CVC, right? Floating gas. It
really is. Yeah, it really is when you're floating gas like that. I mean, one thing to be said is he could really use more larva. I mean, Zetty, though, he's just desperately hurting. No drones on mineral at the natural yet. Okay, one. And he's retaking the gas, or taking the third gas in the main. But I don't know if he can afford it, honestly.
It's such a dominant position. He even remade the spore colony in the main, so again, we're back to Hejek being able to attack Zetty, but Zetty not being able to attack Hejek.
So Zetty kind of just sharking around with his Muta Scourge Flock. He just is unfortunately in such a rough position that he can't feel confident moving around the map. Hejek at the same time, I feel like he just recognizes what a good position he's in, and he's like, all right, how do I not blow this, right? Like, how do I just not throw my units away? I wouldn't even mind if he made a spore inside the main again, just to prevent against, counter. Oh, okay, he already did. So he's got that spore in the main.
He has so much gas, he took drones off the geyser. Although that might be depleted by now. He only has 1,000. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only... that coming in again.
Yeah. Big Mutaflock. Now, I think this is at a point where...
He has 1-1 upgrades, dude.
Oh, jeez. 1-1 to... Let's see.
0.
Oh, the 0-0 of Zetty. So, yeah, this is likely going to be the end here, folks.
Scourge connections.
Yeah, lots of Scourge as well from Zetty, but yeah, there's just too many mutas here.
Well, so, I mean, he picked a good map. He seemed to have something prepared for this. And, made it work with that triple gas style, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I don't see a whole lot of ZVZs on that map, and definitely not many where that third gas gets utilized so quickly. But still, very cool timing there from Hedrick. Definitely came prepared, and it looks like he, will move on to the final elimination match of the day. Zetty obviously playing fairly well, had a good series versus Fengzi earlier on, but unfortunately that's going to be his BSL lifeline there. So looking forward to see our Peruvian Zerg once again in the future for future BSLs. But yeah, man, it's going to be Hejek moving on to rematch Razz in kind of a replacement of the second series of the day. So Razz obviously got to have a little bit of a mental edge after that 2-0 victory. But remember, the games were fairly close still between these two. So Hejek not going to be out of it yet. For this last chance match.
A situation where you just can't do anything. Like, if he just plugs some holes, doesn't make some mistakes, he can definitely do this, And I hope he realizes that. I hope he doesn't feel mentally defeated.
Yeah, and I doubt he would, honestly. He's definitely a long-term competitor. He's competing in the BSL here in this last chance match for a reason. So, yeah, folks. Well, anyways, before we get to this match, let's go to a quick break here, folks. Stay tuned, go get your water, and in a couple minutes, we'll be back here with Hejek facing off against Razz. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BSL16 Group G. We are down to our final match of the day here. It's actually going to end up being a rematch of our Game 2 series. Razz facing off against Hejek in a pretty epic PvZ here. Razz, obviously, basically just a big old plate of spaghetti. But yeah, this is going to be our final match of the day here. Another best of 3 between these two. And I'm really excited to jump into this one here. I believe the last map, the first map, is going to be Nemesis. Yeah, for the elimination match. So kind of a repeat of, one of the earlier sets. I feel like it was a map that Hejek picked, but Razz kind of, made an opportunity out of it. Went for kind of an unorthodox timing and ended up coming out on top because of it. So we'll have to see how each of these players adjust. But both players are ready to jump into the game here. So let's just get into it here. It's going to be Razz facing off against Hejek in a PvZ on Nemesis. And spawning bottom left as the red Protoss from New Jersey, USA's own Red Razz. And spawning cross map at the top right position as the blue Zerg from Poland, it is Hejek. So pretty close series between the two of these guys so far today. You know, the score obviously was 2-0 for Razz, but it doesn't truly tell the tale. Hejek many times was kind of able to kind of work his way back into the game, given some tough scenarios early on here. Looks like Hejek or Razz going for likely a 9-gate opener at the natural here. We'll have to see. And yep, it is his kind of favored 9-gate opener. I can tell you Razz loves this build in this matchup here. It's worked fairly well for him. It's quite strong. Hejek going to open up with maybe an 11 hatch here.
Looks like 12 hatch apparently. Okay.
Oh, it is 12 hatch.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, 12 hatch, a little risky against 9-gate openers.
Yeah, a little risky. We can see the probe coming into the other main. If Hejek had been there, of course his hatchery would have been blocked. So, getting away with it though.
Yeah, he will end up getting away with it there. Razz should get second scout off here top right, and he'll at least know where Hejek is spawning to send that first overlord. Hejek going to end up getting second scout. Yeah, pool just now completing starting rather. Well, first zealot likely to be out here soon. Yep, probe walking into the natural here, getting an idea of that hatchery timing, scouting inside the main. Does a little bit of drone harass there. And yeah, he's going to see an uncompleted pool here, and he's got to be feeling pretty good about his potential to get some good harass in here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to end the game like a proxy 2-gate against, hatch first or something, but it really gives you a lot of control of the game. Like, you're in the Zerg's face, maybe sniping some drones, seeing everything that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's really Razz's bread and butter. He loves being aggressive, honestly, to his own detriment a lot of the time, too.
Yeah, we actually saw that on the game on Butter. He was doing great on Butter, but then he, remember that attack that was crushed, like after he had done all that harassment? He went a little too hard there. But anyway, the first zealot coming in here, and he does have the probes, he can 2-shot those drones, so let's see the micro.
Yeah, drones being pulled off the line here. One drone fairly weak, but does not quite get the connect on that. Still, given the positioning of this zealot probe here, it could be quite annoying. Actually, that pool is placed fairly well. It's going to be a little annoying here for...
Yeah, that's a good pool. I agree. You're right.
Yeah,
it's quite cost-effective, and like either you do this and you lose a lot of links, or you take a drone off and you try to mirror walk it. Either way, it's just not something you want to deal with necessarily.
Jeez, look at that control. Zealot's still alive here.
6 kills. Okay, 5. He didn't get the last
one. Probe could have clicked it, but didn't quite do it. Oh man, Hejek kind of stacking a lot of larva at the natural there. Uh-oh, Razz, though, not minding the gas in his main. A little bit of some blunders here between these two.
Overall, though, still good for ProLeague, I think. Oh, by the way, because it was Gateway first, he did take the inside expansion, as I was speculating before. He was going to take the natural, but he actually reactively took this instead.
I think this is a good adjustment from the previous game, right? He's got the chance to play a couple games against Razz here so far. He knows that Razz really loves to go for that early Zealot harass. And I mean, the map is built to prevent that, right? Why not take advantage of it?
Yeah, definitely a valid style here. To take that inside expo first, rather than... I mean, they're both good. You can take it later, then you get it for free. But you can also just establish yourself, and this is great for Hejek, actually. Catching these zealots like here. Although one is going to get in. That's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, one will get in. At least Razz will get a good scout off, but this shouldn't be able to get much accomplished. I mean, it would... You know, maybe if Hejek...
Very good.
If Hejek misses up the control here, he might be able to grab a drone, but actually it looks like he just wants to walk in and get a good scout off.
Okay, finally this is a drone. So one drone loss only so far. I mean, it's pretty good overall, still. Could be worse.
Fairly good. But the harass, you can see it's affecting Hejek's macro.
Yes, it's blocked now, actually. 26-27.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of the issue for Zerg when Protoss is just in your face the whole time, making you react to these little zealot timings. It could be quite difficult to deal with. Razz going to scout mid right here.
And look, he's closing 12 o'clock. No, he's opening it.
Opening it.
I mean, you don't have to close it. I'm just saying, when you have map control, you should either close it or open, depending on what you want. And a sneaky probe trying to get in here.
Oh.
I'm not sure if you can do that on that spot. Possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, some of these spots don't work. It's really annoying, and like, you try it in single player on the other spots, you think it works, and it actually doesn't over here. Like, it's very finicky.
Yeah, it looks like Razz is going to try to give up on that probe hop there. Spire just about to complete inside the main. Hejek's doing a good job just kind of, you know, fixing the economy, let's say. The main natural and third. Very healthy drone count at the natural. He's just got to start building up that drone count at the third. I actually, the more I think about it, I don't like these opening up that base to 12 o'clock. I get it because it makes like funneling your units out a lot easier for Zerg, which is kind of can be annoying.
The rally points. Yeah. Also, he could just put it in his natural, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't like putting the macro hatch there for sure. I think it's a better map to put macro hatches in your main. Also, why would you not kill the eggs leading from natural to third first?
Yeah, if you just do that, you can rally to your... I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll make sense later. Maybe it's like another Zetty over, you know, build order situation where... Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Scourge already out. Ooh, this is not going to be good if both these coursers get picked off. Only one connect. Okay, one does go down here.
And he's hunting for the next one, too. He's trying to intercept it.
Oh, he might just be able to do it here, too.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay.
Oh, man. Scourger's so dumb. I can't believe that wasn't a connect there. But, oh, well, it looks like Razz going to make it out with one of the Sares. Just transitioning to the next portion of his tech here. Templar Archives down inside the main. Gateways following up as well.
So he's adding more gateways, and you know what? Opening up these this gate, you can still close it later, right? So he hasn't committed to opening it. Anyway, here come the zealots, and I really would prefer for that to be closed right now and just have some sunk into the natural. You know what I mean?
I think he would too. Honestly, we're seeing the creep colonies going up. These are not speed Hydra yet. Yeah, the gate has been open at the third. Does Razz know? I don't think he scouted it. So
he wouldn't assume, like you would never think, right?
Yeah, but actually, it's throwing Hejek off because Hejek is rallying Zerglings to his own third.
Oh, look at this! Oh, okay. I thought he was like trying to bait him to go up there and then catch him. Like that would have been so sick, actually, and that's why he never opened it. You know, he might have been fishing for that actually. Make the opponent run in there and then catch him. Possibly, I don't know.
He's got the +1 attack upgrade, so these Zerglings will not trade well. Oh, but they will if they get a good surround like that.
Yeah, so he's gonna get, a lot of free damage at least, 2 red zealots. Honestly, dude, the reason he opened 12, and not the path you would expect, is that he wanted Protoss to attempt the run-by, and then the Zerglings from 12 o'clock were supposed to rally out and help catch him. He didn't quite take the bait, though. He got cold feet and got out of there, but that's what he was planning, I think.
Drone count going to be finishing up here for the third. We see Hejek taking his own third base. Probe moving in position to start taking 6 o'clock. I'd like to see Hejek starting to tear down that wall at 6 o'clock, right? He's definitely got map control for the moment against Razz. And, I mean, really, that'd be a great way to take advantage of it. Not the most drones at the natural mineral line here, actually, now that I'm paying attention.
Yep. Those red zealots could be put to good use now, opening up the path between these bases.
Yeah, you know, it's just kind of the thing about these unusual maps. It really rewards the players that stay on top of those weird map mechanics as far as like tearing down walls or, you know, the opposite, creating walls and preventing future bases from being taken. But actually, we're seeing Hejek here
right now,
move in.
he never closed the gate. I mean, he wanted to make the speed lock timing stronger, so he didn't want to spend a unit closing this. But that might hurt him right now because, oh, it's not even open for Razz.
Yeah.
This base has to fall now, right?
It will fall. Yeah, Razz maybe could have moved around the side of the map and actually just straight up attack this Hydra Ling, but looks like he's opting to just kill this. He could also storm those eggs. That would have been a pretty good option.
If he even has storm. I mean, probably has it, right? I don't know. But yeah, you can storm the eggs, that's for sure.
I think this is going to be enough here to kill off 6 o'clock. Razz not quite in position to take advantage of this. And yeah, third base will end up falling here.
And these units can still leave. Because you gotta destroy both to keep Zarya up.
I mean, unless Razz kind of captures them here, which might be the case.
Yeah, that's a good point. But if he has to stand there all game, you know, these units are worth their weight in gold in that case.
Yeah.
If they're gonna tie up the Protoss, just to contain him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Razz looking to take another base now. Hejek at least recognizing, hey, my forces are kind of stuck back here. Oh, he's actually gonna...
natural now, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna kill off the eggs and go into Razz's natural here. There are Dragoons there to start fighting these.
He probably assumed that you know, was open. At 12 o'clock, we have something from Razz. Is that a D? Oh, just Corsairs, okay.
Yeah, it looks like some Corsairs picking off some of the remaining Overlords. Zealots moving through, getting some good connections on the remaining Hydralists. Remember that, since that assimilator fell, there's no fitting Dragoons in there anymore. So Razz kind of limited with how he can engage this. DT!
And it's gonna get 1, 2, 3.
Oh
4.
my gosh. Razz just finding these openings, you know, he's just...
And he never took down the eggs, dude. So, but he opened at the gate from 12 though, so he can go there. He can still enter, okay. And here comes the big attack. And him being open at 12 is probably a liability right now.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's tipped off as well to Razz, he could be in big trouble here. The only thing Razz has is a big army, and that is not what you want to be fighting mid-game here as Zerg. So yeah, once again, Razz actually just finding this opportunity that, I mean, shouldn't have been available, right?
Yeah, 3 Templar, dude? That's way too many Protoss units for this to be dealt with.
Big storms going down. Oh man, that is just amazing damage here. On those Hydralists. Lurkers now coming in piecemeal, one by one, trying to get some kind of damage on this Dragoon force. But, I mean, Razz might just recognize that this base is available to be killed. He's going to walk in, realizes the eggs have been killed off, and say, thank you very much for opening up this entrance for me. Don't mind if I do. Oh, no, man. Once again, how is this happening? I feel like Hejek, between both
honestly,
of them, right?
dude, like, they just close your base, dude. Like, I don't know. Okay, he was going for the cool attempt early. I get that, but after that fails, then you gotta close it, you know?
Looks like Hejek trying to kill off the assimilators, at least kills the one. That's going to prevent any kind of counter timing. But once again, all this does now is says Hejek, you can never take 12 o'clock. That is shut off to you for the rest of the game. Hejek trying to scramble and take bottom right here, but it's very vulnerable, and it already looks like Razz has found it. Razz now deciding to march on in to the natural of Hejek here on Nemesis. Still has those remaining 3 Templars. And yeah, GG is called there in game number 1 from Hejek. Game 1 going to Razz.
He was actually in such a dominant position after he took out 6. If he had just closed 12, and by close 12, I mean close like all of the gates. Like where the DT got in, you gotta close that. And then the main entrance to the center, you gotta close that. And then just turtle. He would have been in a great position macro-wise.
Yeah, he absolutely would have been, honestly. But once again, something about Razz just kind of hanging in there.
Yeah.
The tides inevitably turned into his favor because, man, yeah, like you're saying, once that third base was killed off, I was like, oh boy, like we're in some serious trouble here. If you're Razz, Hejek had 3 bases, had the third gas. Eco was great. Just needed to kill off those eggs and kill off the assimilators protecting the third, right? Like that's the big advantage of that map is you basically get very easy to defend bases, but not if you don't take advantage of the map mechanics there.
Yeah, but this actually illustrated an interesting concept in StarCraft and games in general, which is that, well, even like competition in general. But anyway, it's that if you're the one taking the initiative and attacking, then eventually your opponent's gonna make a mistake and then you win. But if you're being defensive, you're not really getting those chances for the opponent to mess up. And Razz, he's just kind of like in your face, and he's like, yeah, eventually you're going to mess up. Because I'm the one attacking, I'm the one taking the initiative. So I'm getting all these chances for you to make a mistake, and you're not really getting any chance for me to do the same.
Yeah, it's
the
very
attacker's
true.
advantage, so to speak.
Yep, it is the attacker's advantage. It's definitely, I mean, something he's just displayed game after game. And it looks like game 2 here between these two going to be Vermeer. Vermeer, I mean, just a wonderful map for Zerg vs Protoss specifically. I think, this seems like the kind of map that would actually truly play to Hejek's style here. But obviously at the same time, a very well played out map for the scene at the moment, right? I think this would be a lot of players' favorite. Razz obviously going to be very familiar with this map in particular. So yeah, we'll have to see how this one goes.
Okay, the players ready? Looks like we're going into it. But yes, for sure. I mean, this map, statistically at the highest level, is slightly Zerg favored in this matchup, but Protoss players still pick it because they're just so comfortable on it. They think they can. I mean, the expansion layout is okay.
Yeah.
You get a third gas, then you get a fourth pretty easily, and the entrance to that is easily walled off with some cannons and a Templar.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you're Protoss and you feel pretty comfortable given playing from a kind of a later game scenario, right? As you mentioned, the third base is fairly easy to secure. Same with the fourth. Every base has a gas at it, which is a big plus for Protoss players. But at the same time, if you're a macro Zerg like Hejek, you got to be very confident on a map like this as well.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I wonder if he's going to take another mains natural, or just his natural third. Both are valid options, of course. We've seen him do both so far.
Yeah, he definitely has. Given their positions here, I could see Hejek taking the top left natural or something like that. That could be quite strong. Looks like Razz going to end up going for that 9 gate once again. We'll have to see how Hejek kind of adjusts. Last game, it was a 12 hatch opener.
Overpool, it looks like right now.
Yeah, overpool. Overpool is fine. In matchup versus matchup, given their given their build orders. I'd say there's a little more opportunity for Protoss to get good harass in against overpool, though. The hatchery is obviously delayed. There's less larva count. And although the pool is quite early, definitely early enough to have 6 Zerglings by the time the first Zealot arrives, the issue is when the second Zealot arrives, and the third Zealot arrives, and the fourth Zealot arrives.
Yeah, you really need to be on top of your multitasking in micro at the Zerg and macro at the same time. So you need to be mentally prepared for it, and you have to expect it, right? Because the Protoss is going into it with that expectation. He's ready to macro at the same time. As the Zerg, you have to really be ready for that mentally.
Only seeing 2 larvae turn into eggs there. I wonder what that could be. Maybe even a single drone.
Yeah, he's waiting for the drone to see what's happening. If he had seen a forge, he would have made more drones. But he confirms the gateway. Luckily getting... Oh, he made a drone, actually. So he took the risk.
I don't think that's bad, but I actually think it's good. I actually think if you're
It's good, yeah.
here,
It's just
you're-
if it was 2-gate, he would die, you know?
right, exactly.
But it's not, so.
But given that, he still is going to need to produce pretty much non-stop links until he knows for certain that this is not, you know, some pretty involved zealot pressure here from Razz, which that's all he's seen really from Razz so far. Oh, big pickup on that scouting probe though.
Yeah, very
from
nice.
Hejek.
You know, this is so bad for the Protoss, because now there could be like a Hydra then. It could be like all-in speedling, you know, he just doesn't know.
Yeah, Protoss unfortunately going to be forced to play from the dark here.
And he did go for that Nexus before the Forge, so taking a little bit of a risk. But if he can just keep this clogged up, that's fine.
Good wall placement here from Razz. Looks like Hejek doing a little bit of pressure. But ultimately...
More Zerglings being made, so he wants to try to maybe... I don't know. Get the gateway, or...?
Honestly, I think...
Drones now, okay.
Yeah, he's going to drone here, but he just wants to have 8 just to feel safety, I feel like, at this point. Probe does move out, though, from Razz.
Yeah, letting that probe get out this... I mean, he doesn't need to stop it, but it would have been nice for him to prevent that.
Yeah, anytime you can keep Protoss in the dark, it's just so difficult for Protoss. Like you mentioned, this could be a Hydra timing.
Oh,
this
it
could
is.
be Lair. It is a Hydra timing, so...
So now he really
973.
wanted to get that probe, for sure.
Yeah, 973, very common. Probe going to at least make it to the ramp, but there is a drone blocking.
Yeah,
so
very
good.
well positioned there.
Yeah,
Right
good
in the middle.
movement from Hejek. Will prevent that scout. But yeah, Razz can't be too certain what he's up against here.
It's about time, though, if this is a 973. So he actually overmade drones. It's not a standard 973. And the Zealot's coming up now, so hold that thought. But this is about when the Hydra discs would come out, but the probe is there to see it. So maybe he feels forced to make drones for now, more than he would otherwise.
I don't think he has the drone count for 973 yet. Yeah, there's only one at the third so far, and I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, he
how
doesn't
many-
have 7 yet, so he was actually going to make drones anyway for now. Now is about the time when you would start seeing Hydras.
And we're actually seeing Zerglings being made
Yeah.
because of this Zealot pressure, and that's not what you want.
He's control blocked. Did he take a gas? I mean, I hope he didn't lose an Overlord.
I think lost an Overlord to a cannon at the natural, maybe.
It's there, so I think he just made a gas and counted or something.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully. He is control blocked, though, and floating quite a bit of money, and maybe crumbling under pressure here, as he might even lose this hatchery.
Yeah,
Zealot
if
in the
that
main-
hatchery goes down, there's almost nothing that can be done here. Zealot in the main as well. This is quite a few Zerglings, though. Drones being pulled from the main to the natural, retreating from that solo lane. And yeah, this could be a dead...
Wow, he's winning on both
hatchery.
fronts, dude. He's ravaging the main, and he's winning the fight at the third.
Oh man, very well done here from Razz. I feel like this hatchery is so close. Yep, hatchery does fall. And Zealot moving to the natural now for Razz, trying to get some additional drone kills here. This is just too much damage. I mean, really, I think the only option for Hejek here is just do a 2-base Hydra timing at this point.
But like, dude, if he just makes cannons, then he's fine, even if Hejek drones, so...
Oh my gosh, the
more.
Zealots still finding drone kills at the natural. Yeah, honestly, like you're saying, if Razz just makes cannons and doesn't die, I don't know what would even be possible here for Hejek to win from. He's at least retaking the third.
That
Okay,
he is.
we are seeing at least a couple Hydras in the main here. Drones going back to the natural. But I mean, there's just been so much disruption this game.
Yeah, and Razz right now, he's making a few cannons to survive, and then he's just slamming down the gates, because he knows either you make drones, in which case I kill you, or you don't, in which case you die later. Because you can't deal with this next attack I'm doing. Because of the nature of the Zerg economy and how far behind he is.
Yeah, that Zealot count starting to rise, Gateway count going up. I don't think we have Templar Archives yet. So this looks to be some type of a leg timing even follow-up here from Razz.
Yeah, and that's actually quite good. When you're ahead like this, Zerg just doesn't have the drones. Like, it's kind of like, you know when Terran wins with Goliaths, even though Goliaths are just kind of bad? Zealot
Yeah.
Dragoon is just kind of bad without Storm, but when you're this far ahead, it's a good way to to use the weak economy of the Zerg against him.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I actually think it would have been better to go archives if he was going to make that many cannons, right? Like if you're gonna make all these zealots, why make the cannons and the zealots?
Yeah, there's no synergy there. That's a good point. And he is getting the archives now, so we're probably not gonna see like a mass zealot dragoon after all.
I mean, either way, the cannon count is high enough that there's really no way for Hejek to push in here to the natural. In fact, any Hydra's loss would just be a worthwhile trade here for Razz. So Hydras do have range. Have a robo facility even going down the main. That's a very quick robo from Razz. And Zealot's just starting to get on top of these Hydras, just pushing them back. Oh,
Last
one just finished for Protoss too. And of course an Evo chamber is not even on the table. Sorry, right now.
I think maybe Razz is over-cannoning a little too much here.
Yeah, I was just thinking, well, okay, actually Hejek is making Hydra still, but I was thinking one way to win would be to just only make drones and pretend you made Hydras. Like, I've made comebacks like that, playing Zerg. But he is making Hydra still, which means these cannons are still okay.
Yeah, I would actually almost love if it was just the only drone follow-up here from Hedrick, right? I mean, it would be the counter to what we're seeing here from Razz. Razz still not mining the gas at his own natural. I mean, that's pretty big.
Well, it has to be a mistake, actually. He must have missed that.
Yeah, it's definitely a mistake. I mean, there's no reason not to at this point. There we go. He's got a
slow shuttle DT drop, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Razz pulling another one out of the book here with the slow drops. I mean, all of the Hydras are out front, right? So,
yeah.
And the Hydra's actually moving in. I'm a little surprised here. There's so many cannons.
My friend. I don't know.
I guess this was a good call out from Razz here. At least he's got the cannon count he needs to deal with it. You know, yes, this has been, you know, a good amount of cannon kills, but it's just not enough. It's not enough for what Hejek needs to get back into this game here.
Dude, imagine, okay, we got a DT coming in here. This could be devastating. But imagine if you just made like 10 Hydras and then only drones. You could actually come back that way. Because he made so many cannons. Because the Protoss is thinking, and the only thing I can lose to now is a counterattack all in, right?
Right,
and so you just make drones. Anyway, here's the DT. No overlord speed, of course, because there's no lair. One, two.
Two drones. Looks like the DT going to be trying to run into the main here. I don't think there is an overlord in the main.
Oh, he doesn't have an overlord in the main. Wow.
All drones being pulled from the main here. This is so annoying for Zerg. Hejek forced to back up with his Hydralisk, and now Razz is out on the map with his Zealot Templar force. I mean, Hedrick's got to somehow try to defend this DT in the main and get his Hydras in a good enough position to defend the Zealot Storm timing that's coming his way. I mean, he's got to get on top of these Templar. There's just no other way
needed
about it.
to harass the army as it was moving, but now it already made it. It's almost like a Terran push, you know. You gotta hit it before it gets into position.
Yeah. I wonder if Razz will just back up. Actually, Hejek moving out on the map. I mean, there's no counterplay potential for Hejek, right? There's too many cannons at the natural. And yeah, Zealot's moving in.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? He's in such a strong position here. Drones once again being pulled. Yeah. Just such a massive storm onto that drone line. And here come the Hydras that are forced to engage back into their own natural here. Razz just getting maximum value out of each and every single one of these storms here. And wow, I think he's done it.
He did it again. He just provokes all of these mistakes, you know?
Yeah, he really, really does. He's just got a very hyper-aggressive style, and well played, GG, and good luck from Hejek. So yeah, well played indeed there. I mean, phenomenal play out of Razz. And with that, Razz actually going to be moving on to the BSL round of 16.
Wow, that's really funny. You know, he wasn't even qualified, but then Sin didn't show up, so he took his place because he was number 2. And here he is, you know?
Yeah, those Cinderella stories only possible here on the BSL. But man, it's so cool. You know, I gotta say, I definitely don't think Razz is expecting to wake up this morning and be making it to the round of 16 of Pro League, but it happens, and very well played from him. Yeah. And with that, folks, we do have Group G's 2 champions here. Obviously, Fengzi moving on from the winners match over Razz 2-0 with dominant display, as you'd expect from the Chinese Zerg, man. He's just this hyper-aggressive monster. You can't even like count out any mistakes he really makes. I think he is primed to go pretty far in this tournament and should be a serious competitor for anyone, honestly, on the roster to compete with. And then we have Razz, and he's got some fat fingers, and he likes to make zealots, and yeah, he snuck his way through this group. So good job, Razz.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty Chad. Just like, oh, I gotta play. Okay, let me just win this group.
Yeah, let me just win this group real quick. No big deal. Yeah, but honestly, a phenomenal play out of all of our players today. Zetty, played amazing, our Peruvian Zerg player. Looking forward to seeing him again on future BSLs. And same with Hejek, man. He gives some fun matches today. And it was a lot of fun to sit here and watch and to cast with you, vOddy.
Yeah, good games.
Yep,
So I guess Razz, I mean, is he going to be commentating and playing now? Like, maybe, How are we going to do this?
I think we're gonna have to figure this one out, but yeah, we'll have to see. I guess Nyokin does it, so
yeah,
I guess that kind of works. Right on. Well, all right, folks. Before we call it a day here, let's thank our BSL Patreons here at the Bombastic General level, $100 a month. We have Starlover. At the Colonel level, $50 a month. We have Striker, Believe in Zero, My Fleeting Dream, Rev, and Hashed Fuzzy. Thank you very much. At the Major Plus level, $30 a month, we have Tim, Cause, Tupocalypse, Robert Groot, and Nientech. Thank you. And at the Major level, $20 a month, we have On My Way, Gordon Bradley, KJ, Daniel Lopez, LML, and Cork. Thank you all so much. And thank you, honestly, everybody. Even donating $7, $5, $2 here and there. You don't need to do the, month to month. Just any and all donations go a long way in supporting BSL and making sure Zero can give us the content we love to watch week to week. And it goes a long way in just honestly propping up foreign BroodWar.
Yeah, it makes people do better because people practice more when there are more tournaments, so it just like helps people get good and makes StarCraft better, basically.
Yeah, makes StarCraft better, and we're seeing it, man. Like year over year, the player level just still continues to skyrocket. Everything's evolving.
Have you seen the vault? He won against Soma in a best of 3. And that's only because we had foreign events that he practiced for. Like it allowed him to leapfrog to the next step,
Yep. Did he win? I actually did not know.
Yeah, he's beaten. Okay, I mean, did I just spoil a tournament now or something? I don't know. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Dude.
But that's crazy. That's nuts.
He played 3 games and he won the best of 3. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
That's insane, dude. Like, what is that? Beating Soma as Protoss.
That's nuts. I mean, that's like ASL level.
That's the sort of thing we're we're trying to build up here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's like living proof of what propping up foreign BroodWar does. We're finally getting on that level, I guess. But right on, folks. Wanted to thank Zero once again for pushing the buttons and making everything happen behind the scene. Also want to thank you, vOddy. I know you weren't, you were a little sick today. You're able to still pop on here and commentate some BroodWar with me. Always appreciate commentating with you, bud, and I hope we get to do it again soon.
Yeah, dude, it was my pleasure. Good games. I mean, Fengzi played some really sick games today, actually, I gotta say.
Yeah, he's a monster,
very
man.
good to watch.
He's going to be a big problem for next round's competitors.
Yeah, a bit of problem, for sure.
Yep. Right on, folks. Well, thank you all once again for tuning in. Today's been a lot of fun. And you guys can tune in tomorrow, I believe, for Group H. I'm not exactly sure who's going to be commentating, but yeah, should be a lot of fun as per usual. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow. Take it easy.